right club today. Yes!
Johnny, that's better than most.
How about in?
That is better than most. Better than most!
Expect anything different?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the No Laying Up Live show, brought to you by our friends at AT&T, here live at the range at the AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am. Solly here. Mr. Pie Man is here. Hello, Pie Man.
Good morning, guys. I have so many freaking layers on this morning.
It's getting colder.
Getting cold. The weather's coming in. Atmospheric river coming in today. TC, I know we're going to get to that. Happy to be with you guys.
TC's got so many weather models cooking over here just off screen. He's got the mitts ready. Hello, TC.
Hello, gentlemen. Excited to be with you.
Mr. Icarito is here, a.k.a. Neil McShay. We're going to be getting to the Icarito big board here for the entire tournament. Neil has ranked the players 80 through 1 in the field, maybe 81.
Possibly 81. He's like, how many players in the field? Like 80.
Easter egg to see if you guys know the field.
It's like, okay,
the Beluga's big board, we'll be reviewing that shortly. Fired up to be on the hot corner today.
It's kind of a Joe Lunardi bracketology.
That's more of what it is, brother.
Todd. This guy projects really well. Great agility.
We're going to be talking mutters. We got some trivia. We got some guests rolling through, maybe some surprise guests. We don't even know who our first guest is, but we are going to be surprised with that somewhere around 9 a.m. Pacific time, we believe. But we'll give a shout out to our friends at AT&T. Connecting changes everything. Today, being connected is essential. Here on the range, being able to broadcast this live is pretty essential. Connectivity is truly the bridge to possibility, improving the way we move through our daily lives, succeeding in work and school, and having access to opportunities that may not have been possible before. That's why AT&T invests expertise and resources in the network constantly so customers can keep connected with every aspect of their lives. After all, connecting people is what AT&T does best, and each connection leads to greater possibility. Connecting changes everything. AT&T.
One other quick note, we are running a scavenger hunt this week. I placed a no laying up sticker out on the Pebble Beach golf course in an undefined or unmarked location. If you see that picture out there, and we will flash it up on screen here later in the show, and I will tweet it out as well. There is a signed Jordan Spieth staff bag from the Pebble Beach Pro-Am up for grabs. Second place, we get a signed pin flag. Third place, you're fired. So go
You
look
looked
for
at
that
DJ
sticker.
when you said that. That was
Yeah, that's
fun.
fine.
And you got to tweet a picture out standing next to the sticker, and the first person to do that gets the staff bag up
It's
for
like
grabs.
sanctioned ambush marketing.
Sanctioned ambush marketing.
come all the way
a
around.
Total full circle moment.
I have a Treasure Island situation out there, too. for
Pretty
you.
cool.
All
Pretty
sorts
cool.
of tech layoffs this week, and Neil's out here firing people on air.
I hate that, man.
Well, it was a Glenn
It was a
Gary
threat.
Ross.
He didn't fire anybody technically.
You don't have that kind of authority. Little news of the day. This is going to probably permeate through a lot of the show this week, but we figured we'd start right off the top with this announcement that came out this morning. The PGA Tour, in partnership with Strategic Sports Group, SSG, today announced the launch of PGA Tour Enterprises, a new commercial venture under the PGA Tour's control, and it's in a first-of-its-kind program. Nearly 200 PGA Tour members will have the opportunity to become equity holders in this new company. PGA Tour Enterprises is also considering participation by future PGA Tour players that would allow them to benefit from the business's commercial growth. And under this program, players would collectively access over $1.5 billion in equity in PGA Tour Enterprises. And these grants, which vest over time, will be based on career accomplishments, recent achievements, future participation in services, and PGA Tour member status. And grants are only available to qualified PGA Tour players. I put that in bold there at the bottom because I think that is going to be a point of conversation.
What is the criteria?
No, what is a qualified
Exactly.
PGA Tour player,
Yeah.
right? Like who kept their membership, who resigned their membership, what happens to the guys that resigned their membership? Do they get a bypass straight back to the tour? I think is a huge question that I've not heard a lot of people talking about. But what's the reaction to the announcement this morning?
I think maybe first let's do a layman explanation of like what does all that mean? That's very press
Please,
releasey,
please.
right?
Go
And
right
so
ahead.
I think I was setting you up to do that, but I can do. Please.
I would say the things that stuck out to me is it values the tour at $12 billion, which is finally a number that has been put on the tour on the league, if you want to say that.
A number of billions.
A number of billions.
It's a lot of billions.
Well, no, 9 billion, 10 billion has been tossed
No,
around,
right.
but we have a number.
Saying
It's
12's a
12
lot.
billion. The other thing that sticks out to me are the 4 classes of equity. As I understand them, there's the current dogs, current thoroughbreds, so the dudes. There's the current members, which we could call the mules, the legends, so the guys that made the tour what it is, and then future players. I'm curious how long that class lasts of is there a time limit on future players? You know, do the guys in 10 years have to buy in? Like, how does all that work? So a lot of unanswered questions, but those were the first two things that stuck out to me.
Do you think the tour is going to brand the different classes of equity?
Probably.
Kind of like the Aon X5 and the Los Cinco and all of those
Maybe
things.
they'll do an ETF of sorts.
Velocity Global's coming in, I'm sure.
Equity's only worth something if it's liquid, right? If you can trade it. Is there a marketplace? Is somebody going to try to consolidate more equity? Like, is Grayson Murray going to sell his equity to
what's
Matt Kuchar?
What's the exit for the PGA Tour?
Yeah.
Well, getting back to like what I think all this kind of means. So basically, this is like what we've been talking about for the last this specifically the last
15 years, I think.
6 months at least, really since like June 6th. This is kind of the culmination of, hey, we are going to start a new company that sits on top of the not-for-profit company that allows outside investors to come in. I think what it's not is, quote, the Saudi deal. That has not happened yet. I saw a lot of, there was a lot, I think, coming out like the last couple days about like, oh, the Saudi deal's being announced this week. This is not it. I feel like feels like what would you say, step 3 of 7 that we're on right now.
Phil's 32 through 37 might be some pretty drastic changes.
I think also, it's something that was laid out by Andy Gardner from the PGA.
Do you want to go straight to that?
Where in that scenario as well, the players got a heck of a lot more equity than the.
Again, going back to how this could have been prevented, back in 2021, I believe it was, Andy Gardner created the Premier Golf League, which laid out a plan to realize $10 billion in equity in the professional golf world that included all players, that included collaboration with the PGA Tour. That was viewed to be not feasible by Allen & Co., despite them not actually reviewing the actual real proposal. Nothing was ever sent to them.
The Allen & Co. CEO is in the field this week.
Yeah, and so
maybe we can get him on the show.
If you want to come sit on the hot corner, I'd be happy to give him my chair.
So sure enough,
grounders.
Today it's announced $12 billion, yet with half the players missing. It's fair to say half the valuable players in golf missing from this deal as it stands now. So feel like this could have all been avoided with a couple meetings back in 2021, but we've been saying that for quite some time now. And to see that kind of realized today is probably, I know the last couple of years have probably been really frustrating for Andy Gardner, but today has got to just be like, guys, I feel like I kind of proposed this to you.
No huge surprises in the announcement. It's pretty much what everybody's been talking about the last couple months. And then I assume they'll bring the Saudis in through the side door to purchase equity from the SSG guys, correct?
That's what I understand it to be, right? There's a purchase of, I guess, is it 25% of SSG that they would be selling around 49% of their stake to the Saudis, to the PIF, as a way potentially of sidestepping the regulatory part of this, yet at the same time, everyone knows that is just that, right? So how do you actually sidestep it? Does that end up with, kind of, again, what we've been talking about, where is there a PGA Tour or whatever this new venture looks like section of the year where the PGA Tour plays, say, January to July, January to August, and then team golf, which I would guess is probably not going to be branded as Live Golf, but team golf series that is more PIF focused that happens in the next part of the year. Does that help you avoid anti-competitive concerns? That would be my guess as to how this all plays out as of now, because I think it's still kind of, if I had regrets about any reaction to June 6th, it was like assuming that this thing was going to go through. I think we all kind of thought, if you're going on CNBC, this thing is like a done deal, which having
the host of the CNBC show also in the field.
Having only gone through this for the first time, that is, bag just blew over here on the range with a huge wind gust. But, I think
it's going to get a lot worse before it gets better. That could cover both of these topics.
It is. I still want to hold a wait and see thing. We can speculate on a lot of what's going to happen here, but it's still definitely a wait and see on the regulatory front. I don't feel great that it's like done and dusted.
I think one thing that's interesting on that front, just TC, I know you got all kinds of sources everywhere.
I do.
I don't know what the timeline looks like on the DOJ like approval. I can't imagine that's hey man, we got nothing going on. We can knock that out this afternoon if you guys got all your paperwork dialed. Got to imagine that takes a while, which I don't know if that means like I don't know how quickly things come back together, right? So does that mean Rahm and Hatton and all these guys are now playing Live for like an extra year while that's getting sorted out?
Yeah.
Does it like I don't know. A lot more questions than answers on that
Yes.
front, Neil.
I would be stunned if this was. I don't think there's any world that this could be arranged by 2025. I think 2026 at the earliest now. At this point,
So sick.
Other takeaways, I think what like this $12 billion valuation, the narrative is that these guys, Steve Cohen, Arthur Blank, the Fenway guys, your boy Mark Atanasio, all those guys,
Big deal getting the Brewers Stadium pushed through.
Exactly.
You know. Also, Cody, what are your Red Sox going to do? You know, they're not spending money in free agency, but they're throwing all kinds of money around at pro golf leagues. That's interesting.
Well,
We got the producer cam here today.
So all these guys evidently think that there's golf is undervalued, right? Why is golf undervalued? Is that because the current product is relatively poor? Is that because leadership has done an extremely poor job? Like, all right, cool. How are we going to fix those things? What's the plan? Is there going to be a change in leadership at the top? Jay looked extremely haggard in that Instagram post that the tour put out this morning. Like he's aged 20 years in the last two.
he's got TC on his ass the whole time. I could definitely see why.
He's following him around Ponte Vedra with a bullhorn.
As a fan, so a
That's the
question:
torch, Jay.
how should the golf fan feel about this? I think with the same apathy we've kind of felt about all this stuff, like maybe this is a path forward, but like until someone like starts prioritizing and laying out, like there's nothing about fans anywhere in that press release. Like this is again still all about the players. Like until the product and the competitive product, until that changes, until the television product changes, I have no excitement towards anything until like that becomes clear. Colin Morikawa talked about that. We'll get to there. Talked about that a little bit in his presser. I think to some guys, it's starting to get through of like, hey, the only way this thing becomes worth this is if more people are watching it. And the only way more people are going to watch it is, one, if we all get back together and start playing, and two, the television product becomes more entertaining. Like that's incredibly simplified, but that is the only way this is this valuable.
I feel like it's been really interesting to see the players' tone kind of shift on that. I mean, JT's the example we always would point at as like, oh, the product needs to improve, the product, which I think, you know, as you like to point out, was like, are you just talking about like purses? Because like that's not the product. And it does seem like a lot of the players have had the light kind of go off. I feel like Rory's talked about it a lot. Morikawa's press conference yesterday was super interesting. He talked about a lot of TV stuff, showing more golf shots. A lot of that we'll get into. Max has said a lot of the same stuff, I think, publicly. I think what's going to be really interesting and what I think some of these guys probably need to be pressed on. I mean, I know there's the perfect scenario would be everything gets way more valuable because the product gets so much better and all boats rise and everybody makes more money and everybody enjoys the product more. To your point is like, okay, well, what's like stopping that from happening? How much of that was the structure of the PGA Tour being this 501c6 membership organization that needs to take care of everybody and can't do guaranteed contracts?
Which is still in place,
Yeah.
by
Right.
the way, underneath this PGA Tour
Correct.
Enterprises.
So that's where I'm kind of like, man, what does a $3 billion infusion do is still pretty unclear to me on how you make televised golf much better than
More hard cams.
people are they're crying in the streets, Neil, about like, I can't wait to watch the golf this week. Maybe that happens, but God, it feels I don't know. I'm just a little dubious.
Well, short term, it plugs holes with that cash infusion, but the people that are investing in this, I don't think they like to invest in businesses that don't
Totally.
have a return of some kind.
Yeah,
So
Steve Cohen seems like a relatively serious individual.
yeah,
Yeah, this is not like a piff.
No,
like
no.
let's just light this money on
Yeah,
fire thing.
It's still,
those
it's
pi-
still
except
an
all the
ad,
pitchers he
it's
bought.
still an ad-based business. It's still a
Yeah.
a TV rights business. So until that, I don't know how you like move away from that long term if these investors are looking for a return.
That's what there must
Maybe
be
it
a
becomes more
folder.
global.
Is there just
right?
a folder somewhere full of ideas that like none of us are thinking about? Like,
Comes Bones and JT. Do we want to?
Hey, Bob.
hey guys.
Hey, there's the guys.
There's Greller.
What? Yeah, we're jet lagged. Of course we're jet lagged. The very best kind of
Quit
jet lag.
asking.
Hey, and Greller. Morning. How we doing?
Well, we've got KVV out on the range doing a
He's
little,
working his sources.
working some sources, so we'll bring him in a little bit.
One other thing is,
but- Yeah, go ahead.
These guys so part of the undervalued thing as well is global tour,
Yes.
right? That was Andy Gardner's thing. That's been Rory's thing. That's been, certain sponsors want to sponsor, like they're not even getting in the boat because they want the whole global budget to, go against this. PGA Tour is primarily a North American product. So I think on that front, there's going to be a lot of unhappy guys if they turn this into a global thing, which, hey, maybe they're conditioning the next wave of PGA Tour players to say, hey, you're gonna have to play globally.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of am moving with the winds of smart people that are talking through all this, and the guys that run Data Golf were tweeting a lot about, Kyle Porter threw out a tweet of what would pro golf look like if you guys could draw it up from scratch now, and they made a good point of like, you know what, a global tour, and I've been a proponent for the global tour. It's like, if global tour made economic sense, it probably would have happened by now.
Dude,
it was like, that's a good point. Like
that's what I keep coming back to is like, what's this like magic bullet that is just going to take it from here to here?
I think there's unrealized global value. Like the best golf I think in the world is probably played in the British Isles. Like there should be more professional golf played at in those locations. That's a huge market there. And
well, you have to create a spectacle. If you want to take the F1 example, it can't be
product.
the global thing earlier was like, we're going to go do an Asia swing. I think it needs to be like an Asian event.
Yeah.
Like we're an Australian event. The whole circus is going, and then there's maybe some supplementary stuff. Oh, there's a tournament the week before or the week after, and then, it comes back to North America.
I know gets like poo-pooed and laughed at, but like that was the Live Australia.
Yes.
Right? It was like that
Which
idea.
was a success.
Yeah.
Big time.
Because of Saudi Prince money, right? Like but also
prove that there is a desire for that down.
Totally.
And if you have
down
investment, maybe you can
And
like
then on top of that,
skip the
you do a good TV product. You have a cogent social team. Like you have capable, world-class people working for you. It's not just like, hey, we're going. No offense to the Wyndham, like, hey, we're going to Greensboro this week. Like that's not getting people in London excited to watch PGA Tour.
And that's the thing with the Asia swing. It was always silly season, kind of like golf in the fall. Yeah, it's an afterthought. So if you're going to do it, you got to do it right.
But I think what's hard is a lot of what we said about this event that we're sitting at right now is like we're right in the middle of that fabric ripping where it's like this entire event was built on the Monterey Peninsula Foundation, celebrities, pro-am, parties, dinners, all of that stuff. Like nobody in London's going to care about that either.
But good on them. They ripped the Band-Aid
right.
off.
And that's right. It's just going to be an ugly kind of like, to your point, like what does the fan think? Is like, dude, it's just going to be clunky and like kind of shitty for a while everybody's figuring it out.
Sure.
Well, and then we have just kind of these almost, I don't want to call them lame duck seasons, but it's just
right.
like I was pretty amped on like how I hate to even say it, the FedEx Cup season was unplaying last year with the designated event model. It was like easier to get hyped for the bigger events. Like the FedEx Cup leaderboard, like halfway through the year looked like it should, instead of, the guys that won fall events kind of being represented at the top and all that. And then when the mergers announced, it's kind of like, all right, well, if this isn't the future of how golf's going to look like, it's really hard to like get really amped for these individual seasons and whatnot. So that's a challenge they're going to have to overcome right now as well. Like it's gonna get worse before it gets better. Like these guys are not gonna all be playing in the same tournaments again anytime very soon. Which we can talk about how that all gets rolled back in, but taking a quick break for that. We're gonna bring KVV.
Yeah, we don't want this to be too serious. We're gonna bring KVV in to get some player reactions. But first, we're gonna run through our first power rankings on the Beluga's big board.
Tell us
for anybody who's just joining.
We're going worst to first.
Tell us what this is.
So the Beluga's big board is a proprietary model. It's forward-looking. It's predictive. We have
what kind of things go into
data
this?
lake. Thank you for asking. Strokes gained heart goes into this.
Okay.
The eye test?
The eye test, of course. Strokes gained stoke levels. Are stoke levels high on the range? Are my sources out here telling me this guy's flushing it? Are
How
we
do you
getting
choose
word?
your sources?
That's also proprietary.
Okay.
History repeats itself. That goes into this.
It doesn't repeat itself. I thought it echoes.
Well, it echoes. Thank you. So that goes into this. Of course, meltwater metrics go into this, right? And this week specifically, we have to adjust the model. What are we looking for this week? We're looking for mutters. Okay, we're looking for
because of the upcoming conditions.
Will you be releasing the individual components of your model to support?
Absolutely not.
A lot of players,
transparent.
a lot of these guys are looking
Tour
for
doesn't.
they're looking for transparency, man.
Tour doesn't. You won't do it. You won't live your truth.
We're looking for good approach play. We're looking for what we're not looking for? We're not looking for driving distance. These are all things that are going into.
Does that hurt you out here?
It doesn't hurt you, but it's not as much of a
non-factor.
factor. It's a non-factor. So
My beautiful boy's grown up.
I just want to let you guys know
He was working on this last night. He's like,
because this will be a test for you guys.
Hold
I
on.
have 81 names in my power rankings.
I believe there's only 80 in the
There's
field.
only 80 in the field, so it's going to be up to you to figure out who that
Do you
81st
know?
name is.
do you know?
I might. Well, we're going to find out. So, kicking it off,
Mr. Irrelevant.
Mr. Irrelevant, Mr. 81, S.H. Kim. I'm I'm just not sure.
Can confirm he's in the field.
He is
He
in
is.
the field.
Saw him walk by.
I might need to apologize to him. Not familiar with this game. We're gonna go through the first 10. Matthew Pavon.
He won last week.
I know it's a hangover week.
Oh,
he's
interesting.
low on my board.
But he's French, so he's probably drinking the good stuff, so he's probably not hungover.
Wow.
I just
Go to the
think he's
French
gonna
Laundry.
have. He's
Oh,
got
that's
too much on
Maverick.
his mind. Yeah, actively put him down the list.
He's playing with the
that one.
the head of like the French golf federation.
Yeah, he's got too much going on. I have a direct shot at you two. Taylor Montgomery. Got to prove it. Way down my list.
79?
Luke List. I'm a little worried about this one because he's won on POA before,
Sure.
but haven't seen much from him lately. So
You know what
he's
I
down the list.
What I respect from Neil is he's doing this really loud.
sure. Anybody else?
Yeah, sure. Kurt Kitayama. Just not seeing it right now.
I think
was just
Kurt
right there.
Kitayama's just right there.
His bag is what
Sure.
flew
We
in.
got Adam Scott right behind us. We got Patrick Rogers.
They
over
could
here.
come sit in the hot seat
Lucas
if they like.
Glover.
There's no shade to anybody. You got to
course.
rank them. We have to do
Gotta
it.
do
right?
it.
We've got Nick Hardy.
Wow.
Oh,
don't-
that's a direct shot. I think Nick Hardy, he's an elite iron player. I think not only does he make the cut because there's no cut this week, he's going to finish. I think Nick Hardy finishes top 10 this week.
There
some
you
of the
go.
best golf in
Sam
the world.
Ryder, Hayden Buckley, Lee Hodges, Thomas Dietrich, Nick Dunlap, Christian Bezadenhout, and the soldier boy himself, Kevin Yu,
Can
coming in at
confirm
70.
all of those guys are in the field.
All of
Yeah.
those guys are in the field. That is my 81 to 70 list.
I don't want to pick too much of that, but just talk to me. You haven't seen enough from Dunlap. You're not feeling his form.
Another
Pavon.
guy feels a little bit like life's coming at him pretty
Sure.
fast. I'm not. I almost think this takes the pressure off of him. But in the Beluga's power rankings, I feel like he might be coasting a little bit right
Tim
now.
Tucker just flashed us the nasty look after the
After-
Kurt
wow.
Kitayama shade.
He's
That's
a
not
little
a guy you wanna
in
be-
the conditions.
He's got
listen,
rabbit ears.
Kurt Kitayama, the power plant. He's a little too wild off the tee for me, and I feel like in the conditions out here, I don't think that's going to play well this week. And it's no shade to any of these guys.
I'm so proud of our beautiful boy. He was last night. He's getting ready to do the big board. He comes to me and he says, "Hey, how do I figure out what skills are good on display here?"
Well,
at
no,
Pebble
I
Beach?"
looked at Data Golf. I looked at the the course fit tool, but I wasn't really calling out to me like what
It wasn't speaking to you.
what is the factor. So Solly helped me out a little bit.
And that's a factor in your models. You're just not going to be blind to the data like
no,
some people.
No, there's a lot more
data's a
eye test,
component.
and there's strokes gained heart.
Hey,
And for these guys on this list, I haven't seen. Yeah, sure, Dunlap, but there's other
Sure.
factors involved.
Yeah.
Okay.
I haven't seen the heart from Dunlap and Pavon this year.
Anyway,
So
I'll let,
gotta see
I'll let you
more.
guys think that over. We're going to bring KVV in now.
All right, let's bring
to,
in-
to get back to more pressing topics.
Thank you, Neil.
Bringing in our very
That
own
was interesting.
Yeah, Kevin Van Valkenburg has been doing some journalistic work out on the range, getting reaction, golf notes to what's been going on. Neil, you are blocking the camera. Why don't you tell us a little bit about what you heard?
Yeah, I talked to Adam Scott. Figured he would be the best source to go to, and he was like, "I'm excited. Like, I'm not exhausted. I am feeling like this is a next step in the future of the PGA Tour, iconic American brand. Let's celebrate this." And I was like, "Okay, like, hear me out. Like, what is the benefit for fans in this?" And I think he was very, Adam Scott takes those long pauses and then thinks about what he says. And he said, "You know what? You're going to actually see some."
Wow.
Benefit going forward for the fans. Like, there's the only way to sort of figure out the future of what the tour is going to look like was to do this, and then the next step is like making the product better. And so, look, I think Adam's very diplomatic. He has to kind of be very measured in what he's saying. Colin Morikawa, on the other hand, who I grabbed, sort of comment, he was
He's
actually
wearing shorts today.
yes,
Full Tanimal
full
outfit.
Tanimal short outfit was impressive. The guy is ready. He might.
Four layers on
Do you
right
think
now.
Neil needs to move him up the big board.
Possibly.
Perhaps.
interesting.
Well,
He's-
stay
It's a
tuned for
signal.
that.
He might have some more dog in him than we thought.
Morikawa was obviously followed up a little bit on his comments yesterday about the fan stuff, because I think that's kind of the most important thing from my perspective is like, how does this benefit anybody who cares about golf? And I think a really great comment is like, we all need to stop complaining.
Yes.
We actually need to. Like, he's like,
We being the players.
yes.
Okay.
And he
Not us.
he even
I'm not
put
gonna
it,
stop complaining.
no, he put it on himself. He's like, I need to like, I've done some complaining and I need to like get over it, and I need to basically make this. He's like, if the product doesn't grow, then none of this matters. And I thought that was like super mature and a good perspective from him. And he was like, we know how to play golf. We needed to bring in people who know how to sing in your tune, TC. We need people who know how to build teams, build leagues. It's like, that's not what we've been good at. And so my hope is that like these people aren't just like smart at business. They know like what they're doing in the larger sports world, and that's what golf can benefit from.
Sounds
So-
like he's calling for regime change as well.
Could be. I mean, I think we don't know like what Jay's job is going to be, right, in this next sort of thing, but it's not going to be the same job, and there's going to be a lot more people who are going to say, hey, like maybe like all these players should be at this tournament. Hey, maybe all these players should do these media obligations. Hey, maybe like stop acting like you're an independent contractor on every single aspect of what you do and start like looking at it a larger picture of like, okay, we have like a responsibility to all of the shareholders, and we need to like all start rowing in that direction.
Can we put this to the test today? Can we get Colin Morikawa to come sit down with us right here,
That's a
right here,
great
right now?
question. I do not know. You know, he hit for about 15 minutes, and I don't know that he would have like sat here in shorts and froze his ass off for us as much as he loves us in
One
golf.
other
but-
thing, equity is only valuable if it's growing. Otherwise,
Sure.
they might as well just give these guys cash and let them manage it themselves.
Mm-hmm.
I'll also be very curious to see how they do the tax ramifications of
Yep.
giving equity that you can't cash out immediately. Like you have to put a valuation on that, and then you have to pay taxes on that. I'm sure we'll get some whinging from guys on that too.
I think that like one of my biggest like takeaways from this morning is, hey, if you thought that like this was going to be the first step in like those two, you know, leagues coming back together, you're right. If you thought that like next week you might see John Rahm in a PGA Tour event, you're dead wrong. And like we're like maybe a year from an actual
More than that.
like reunification. Like the Department of Justice is going to sit here and like pick this apart and probably make them tweak it and make them sort of, you know, bend the knee a little bit. And I don't think that really matters what administration is, you know, is next around the corner. It's the first, I guess, like step in probably what, you know, it's been 50 steps. The chess move. You know?
Arthur Blank is a big concessions prices guy too.
There you go.
We may see concessions prices at PGA Tour events go way down.
But back to, again, there's a giant gaping hole in the size of the ship that you can't patch over. Like when a new competitor entered the marketplace and created this new market for players, it can't go away now. Like you can't, that was the whole point of the PGL was like, no, we're doing this all within the same umbrella, within cooperation. And now you can't, within the regulatory purposes of for anti-competitive reasons, this league can't go away. So it's going to exist in some way. And so that's a whole factor in this as well. And that's what's going to be probably tough to stomach for some of the guys out here is like, does Jordan Spieth, despite, you know, being on the PGA Tour board and being like strongly on this side, is he going to go have to play event in Saudi Arabia in 2026 is like a question that is going to have to be answered, and it's going to be pretty uncomfortable for a lot of people involved in this. Because if PIF's going to put $1.5 billion into this, they're going to have their way in a lot of ways. This is not, I don't think today is a huge, enormous victory for the PGA Tour.
No. And I'll tell you what, like, if you think you're going to sit here and tell me that this whole thing is worth $12 billion, like I was joking with DJ on the way here. Okay, like, that's as much as, like, the Dodgers and the Yankees combined are worth. So, like, professional golf is really worth that much. You better show me, like, how it's going to be worth that much. And if that means, like, playing on a global tour, like, okay, like, you better be willing to freaking drag your butt to, you know, wherever, King Abdullah Economic City. And you have to, you know, do those things that are going to sort of.
Buddy, better start learning Arabic.
I think you're probably undervaluing in the current inflated
Sure.
landscape.
Yankees probably sell for $10 billion, but
Yeah.
like the Orioles just sold for $1.75 billion. Like it's worth two professional like sports teams in a successful professional sports league.
And those are baseball teams that have a 162 game season. That's a ton of inventory. That's what the PGA Tour. That's part of the value of the PGA Tour is. It's how many, you know, there's 47 events or whatever. There's a ton of commercial inventory there. And it's going to be really interesting to see who gets squeezed in this. Is it the charities? Is it the,
I think for the first time, like talking to Morikawa this morning, hearing him a little bit yesterday, and it's the first time the players, maybe the light started to go off of like, yo, like we can't just like hoover up all the cash in the, you know, in all this and not think that there's something that has to come back to the actual fans. Like, you look, if you think that Saudi Arabia can just subsidize this thing forever and we can all kind of like play it like a 3-card Monty and just keep moving money around and pretend like nobody will ever have a say in it, then I get your perspective, but I think you're wrong. Like eventually you have to actually like reward the people who are investing in it other than the Saudis, who obviously have their purposes behind it. But like John Henry like wants to make a profit. So he's going to want to like have more Red Sox fans become golf fans, right?
Or talk to Pittsburgh Penguins fans, or they own Liverpool, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, how is that going? Right?
And this is where, though, the little bit of faith I do have in this is like bringing in all these successful owners from other sports to like start informing and start like taking over of giving some actual advice into how to do this from outside of Ponte Vedra is what is
Real
clearly
adults.
desperately needed, right? Like that's the one part that I'm kind of like, do I trust? Like we've been clamoring for 10 years for certain kinds of changes that are more fan centric from the PGA Tour, and it's clearly not come. It hasn't come, and it's not going to come. And so having somebody else come in to be like, hey, can we maybe look to how other sports are doing this? Like, you want to talk to Adam Silver about how they manage social media and fan interaction of highlights, and how House of Highlights that has 40 million Instagram followers just takes NBA highlights and redistributes them to fans and interacts with fans around the world instead of, just crowing over every single little detail of teeny tiny little contracts that nobody is caring about, that is sinking the ships instead of raising all boats. Like somebody from outside of golf coming in to like help with that part is going to be that's the one lone part that I'm like, all right, there's a little bit of a path here.
It's not just fans that are getting squeezed too. Sponsors are pissed as well. Like bring in people from the NFL or from other places that can help these sponsors leverage their dollars, so it doesn't just seem like they're throwing good money after bad. Like we've already seen Wells Fargo walk away, Farmers is walking away, and with the move from the model being, hey, this is just a corporate entertainment product and we're going to get our best clients here, and everything else on the media side is gravy, to it's a big transition to
Media
hey,
first.
this is a media first global rights brand marketing exercise.
Which what if I told you they don't own the 5 biggest events in the sport?
Exactly.
Is where I keep coming. Right.
So that is a part of this
Right.
as well. Like, what is all this money for? It's not just to like, let's pay the sponsors to go away and not air commercials.
Totally.
Like, that's not it. But like, what are they going to do in terms of buying up real estate, if you will, around the world of golf? That's something worth keeping an eye on.
I think so. Per your point about like the House of Highlights stuff, the right way to do it would be to look at like what baseball did and basketball did and say like, hey, we need young people to be interested in this. That's where young people live on the online world. Like, let's bring them all in it. The wrong way to do it, and I'm not gonna be like pretending that this might not be the way that golf goes, would be like, you know what? Let's charge like people more for like their access. Let's basically like squeeze the OEMs to basically say like, oh yeah, the only thing that you can shoot like at events is like in this tiny window, and you owe us this much money if you want to have that access. Like that could be
That's what they're already doing.
like right.
I don't think
they
they
could
could
do it more.
Yeah.
Well,
Meanwhile, the
Listen,
PGA Tour Twitter account is tweeting a video of Xander Schauffele hitting a shot over a spyglass with a deer in the background.
Do you get it?
what an
didn't get it.
infringement
Oh,
on Gary
that's good.
Mule Deer's brand. I mean, how dare they?
Could have been a meta joke. Yeah.
But I mean, like, it just open it up more, right? Like, had the whole like Hard Knocks thing for the NFL. Imagine if we had like a real documentary program that wasn't full swing, that wasn't sort of sanitized, that wasn't kind of like, hey, everybody's great. Like,
So can I stop you on that? Because you're raving about Morikawa. How he talked about this specifically yesterday about like, being mic'd up and everything. He was like, he shut that down of like, 5 hours being out there. And I understand a little bit of this. Like, some of our conversations are not meant for public air. Like, they still don't see it that way, right? If George Kittle gets mic'd up, in an NFC championship game for the whole game, like that's kind of part of that's collective bargaining though, right? And that's like, you're going to do this.
I think
But also like sound effects, like they're not going to air
Out,
George Kittle out.
Right, and that's
There's
where
a
there has
little
to
bit
be
of
some
tact
trust.
that
I
has
was
to
gonna
be
say some of that stuff is just seeing the ball go through the hoop, right? And like some brave heroic player being the first one to do it has to prove like, oh yeah, hey, I actually said this, and they cut it out, and like I wanted to cut
have
this
an
out.
all
and blah, blah,
access
blah.
tournament where it's like, all right, everything in this, we're going to show you the inside workings of this. Everybody's going to be mic'd up. We're going to turn this into a movie, and it's going to be like, all right, we get a real look at it, and then go back to your other model and see how popular that one is.
Yeah.
Kevin Yu, the soldier boy, just walked by. Bad look on his face after Neil's
Neil's
Neil
board.
bodied him.
board. Yeah.
So we kind of glanced past this earlier. Again, also issued in the statement today was the transaction announced today allows for a co-investment from the Public Investment Fund in the future, subject to all necessary regulatory approvals. And they talk a couple times in the press release about regulatory approvals. And as part of PGA Tour Enterprises, SSG, a consortium of American sports team owners led by Fenway Sports Group, today closed on a major financial and strategic investment of up to $3 billion. SSG is investing an initial $1.5 billion into PGA Tour Enterprises and will provide strategic focus on maximizing revenue generation for the benefit of the players and on finding opportunities to enhance the game of golf across the world.
Where's the 1.5 billion going? Like, what do you like? All right,
Any-
$1.5 billion in cash is coming through the door. What are you doing with it?
Bitcoin, baby. Let's go to the moon.
Or if they say, hey, we need more than 1.5. Let's say we get 2 years down the road, we need more than 1.5. Is that underpinning purses to keep these guys happy? Is that building out your own production that's far and away better than what NBC Golf Channel is doing? Is
It's
it
building Tiger like an exoskeleton so they can play and do like these? Like,
Does it build a
I
better
mean, that-
dome?
It's
I'm
like,
trying to,
yeah.
yeah. I think what the people want is like
tactically?
jet lagged real time analysis here of moving around billions of dollars. So that's what I'm going to give you. But like, does some of that truly come to like reducing the need for commercial interruptions?
Possibly.
Right? Do you almost like subsidize, like, hey, take whatever, you know, for the season to cut commercials by 40% is going to cost whatever, however many millions of dollars. Like, do you legitimately take some of that and hope that like the product just improves that way? Which even like saying that out loud is like, dude,
Can
no,
I
that's
answer
gonna-
that
that's
part
not gonna
though?
happen.
There is, I would say there is. Let's say there's 40% of the commercial inventory going down. There is 40% that's going to waste, right? It is part of
Yeah,
these packages that
totally.
are antiquated packages that you have to buy if you're a title sponsor and all this stuff. And like most of the sponsors that we've talked to have been like, yeah, they run too many of our ads. Like it's not as valuable. The more you run, they're not all created equal, right? So can you modernize these deals a little bit to diminish a little bit of that, so your commercial space you're actually using is like instead of like glazing over when it happens, recognizing who the sponsors are that are supporting the competitive product instead of ending up hating those sponsors. Like that is where the progress can be made. No one is saying there shouldn't be commercials. No one is saying there shouldn't be revenue. But if you trim it from, call it 100 spots you use throughout the year to 60, and you're charging more for it, and it's in more consequential spots or whatever, there is a way to do it that's like not clearly dumb, that pisses off the viewers and pisses off the
It's
sponsors.
just I can already see this happening in slow motion because there's this infrastructure already in place. The media rights deal runs through what 2020 or 2032, and so that's basically giving CBS and Golf Channel and NBC like a check and saying, hey, we're buying out 40% of your inventory, but like be creative. Hey, say, all right, if you're a title sponsor, I know we're asking you for more money. With that money, you're also you're gonna be the title sponsor of the hour commercial free on Sundays, or
Yep.
you know, like find some little sticks and carrots here as well. So
I just think it's the song of the summer model, right? The first time you hear like the song of the summer, you're like, oh, that's a banger. Like, it's awesome. When you hear it 50 times, you cannot get escape from it. You're like, this song sucks. And I have a negative opinion towards Taylor Swift or Zach Bryan or whomever because
I hate my A1C. I don't need my A1C any lower than it already is. I've seen it all enough. It's tough. So,
I think we're gonna bring Neil back in.
all right, we are going to
Another
rotate
big
you out.
board
Go
update.
see what else you can
Go get
drum
some more
up there.
scoops, Kev.
Yeah, go get some more.
talking
on,
about
Kev,
this
Kev,
gets me
Kev.
simultaneously amped up and
Yeah.
like so mad at the current leadership that's put us in this position. And it all just comes down to how long of a view, how long of a you know curve are they looking at here? Is this a 5-year thing or is this a 20-year thing for Cohen and Blank
Yeah.
and Werner and the boys?
Neil, what'd you drum up out there?
Oh, some good stuff.
It was cool to see the Beluga's
windy.
models working in real time right there. An unknown cat or unnamed caddy
Sources.
came over, whispered into the Beluga's ear,
Yes.
and you could see him go to the notepad and change the models.
I was asking who are the mutters out here. Turns out it might be a bunch of pampered bucks. He was drawing a blank. He's like, I got to look up the field list. I don't know. It's just scrolling. No, scroll. It was tough.
Scoliosis.
But these are like top tier mutters. So we're not going to get to those till the end. Stay tuned for that, folks. We're going 69
Mr. 69.
down to
Hey,
6.
Kevin, you walked
60.
by, shot a really nasty look at us.
The
too.
Soldier Boy?
Yeah.
He was
So wait,
really
did you do
upset.
11 last time?
Yeah.
Okay.
I did.
Okay. Make sure we're not missing
We'll
anything.
go
We haven't
69.
gotten the Easter egg.
Yeah.
The one guy.
So
Okay.
coming in at 69, this could be controversial, but Hideki Matsuyama.
Definitely in the field. We saw him.
Who knows,
Yeah.
right? I don't feel like we've heard much out of Hideki. World-class player, obviously.
What's the highest he's ever gotten in the Beluga Index? Like
we'd have to-
retroactively.
we'd have to go back and look in the archives.
Like when he won the Masters, I gotta think.
He was probably in the top 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was back when Neil was using the SI golf rankings.
That's right.
That's right.
Yeah, just distance per shot factor into the rankings.
I would say with Hideki, he ranks low in strokes gained stoke level.
Yeah,
you know?
and do outfits factor in any of this?
Yeah,
Outfits
I think
almost
so. Small
almost always
percentage.
bad.
Small
Yeah.
percentage. 68. Eric Van Ruyen.
Wow.
Royan.
Royan. God.
He's in DJ's band. He
Yeah.
walked by
Yeah, and
earlier.
I-
He walked by, gave me a little.
I'm a big fan.
We're
of
gonna
Eric,
try to
but,
shred later this week.
No track record here. Next, 67. Alex Smalley. 66. Nick Taylor.
All right, if we threw up 10 pictures, could you pick Alex Smalley out of a lineup?
I
I couldn't.
don't think so.
I don't
no.
think I could.
I
either.
join you on that block, my friend.
Nick Taylor.
Saw him. He's here.
He's here. Ben Griffin is at
Saw him.
65.
We're just listening for the guy that's
I
not in
know.
the field.
Adam Schenk.
He's
I
here.
saw Ben Griffin enjoying a nice bowl of chili.
He also,
That's gotta-
you know what?
I would
I
put
need
him
to
higher in
give,
the rankings.
Taproom
His
chili.
his hat sponsor is definitely in the running this year for Prestige Worldwide Award.
Who was that? Sorry.
It's like XRP or something. Like who
Oh,
knows?
Shank, right?
oh, Shank.
Yeah.
Electron.
No clue what that. what that
He's a
company
crypto, isn't it?
Really?
Yeah.
does. I'm
Either
not
crypto
sure.
or
Potentially.
crypto
Yeah,
or
that's
logistics.
the best guess I've
I feel
heard.
like
Isn't that
those are-
Ripple?
I've got Andrew Putnam at 63. I do want to shout out Andrew
Putnam is in
Putnam's
the field.
trapezoid data golf shape. He hits it. He's like -3 strokes gained on distance, but then he's just like excelling at everything else. So I feel like
Could
this
be a
one
good
might,
spot for him.
I know this one might burn me. I felt like I needed to put him a little higher up.
He's
the
at what
list.
number? I'm sorry.
He is at 63.
Putnam's from the Pacific Northwest too.
Okay, could be a mutter. So that's one that the Beluga could get wrong here.
When the new rankings come out later today.
There's the sensation, country music star Eric Cole. Stay tuned for his name. Though.
He's coming up
I
later.
love-
yeah.
He's on the other stage later.
Neil's looking over his shoulder for like, oh, I'm about to drop somebody's name.
He's got an
that,
upcoming EP.
Again, no, there's no shade in these. You have to rank everybody.
That's right.
That was the mission here. Cam Davis at 62.
Saw him.
Wow.
This
that's-
one's gonna shock some people.
Cam Davis at 62. That's
I don't love
That's
that.
some shade.
That I have it noted. Could burn me. And
We've got exposure here on this
For
one.
Aspire Index.
61 is Sam Burns.
Whoa.
It's not Bermuda.
Wow.
Can't pick him. Haven't I think he had a pretty good finish earlier in the season, but I'm
Bermuda Burn.
going out on a ledge here and saying 61, and then 60 is Si Woo Kim.
Saw him.
What
So,
do you have the most issue with, guys?
I mean, Sam Burns is definitely
I
a
thought
world
you'd
class
like that
player. Obviously, Taylor Montgomery doesn't feel great for me in TC, but I understand that.
Cam Davis
Don't love the
seems a
Cam
little low.
Davis. Don't love.
Putnam seems low, to be honest.
Yeah, I think I feel like Putnam and Cam
couple of the
Davis.
couple
I
of the
just don't think Sam Burns is going to play that well today.
couple of the Hardy boys were
Today will be
not
fun.
wild about his rankings.
The Hardy boys.
Yeah, not wild about that, but
I'm personally offended by the Nick Hardy thing. And actually, I'm going to walk you up later to introduce you to Nick Hardy.
hey man, you might have heard there's some stuff going around
The
about the Beluga index.
Beluga rankings are. We try to be unbiased, right? No, there's no shade.
Not necessarily how they're going to finish in the tournament, or is it?
No, it's how they're going to finish the power
I was
ranking.
trying to help you out a little
No.
bit.
I'd lay up.
You know, I'd love to see you guys power rank.
We might
know?
need to. This might need to be an
Yeah,
assignment.
I think you're doing a great job.
Thank you.
We're
Might
just
need to
giving
be
you
an
crap.
assignment for all the majors going forward. Someone gets the rankings.
156 dudes.
Yeah, build the Beluga index this week.
We should have Neil build a whole SEO thing around it.
That'd be
too.
good. This week's Beluga index we need to publish it on Wednesday
The
night.
Beluga Nights.
You want to get into a little McRib's comments yesterday that made some headlines. He said, "I think life is about choices. Guys made choices to go and play live. Guys made choices to stay
I
here."
thought this was an ad read when you started it.
it sounds like an AT&T commercial or a Morgan Stanley commercial. Life is about choices. You have to have people to help make those
Exactly.
choices.
If people still have eligibility on this tour, there's that phrase again. If people still have eligibility on this tour and they want to come back and play, or you want to try and do something different, let them come back. I mean, I don't think it's hard. I think it's hard to punish people. I don't think there should be punishment for, obviously I've changed my tune on that because I see where golf is, and I see that having a diminished PGA Tour and having a diminished Live Tour or anything else is bad for both parties. It'd be much better being together and moving forward together for the good of the game. That's my opinion of it.
JT and Bones both just walked by. They both have a blue on black Kenny Wayne Shepherd look going on.
Love that.
Yeah. That sounds a lot like they're gonna try to make the guys that don't have status like the Gooches of the world who want to come back, play Corn Ferry Tour or go to Q School, which is sick.
I don't see how there's any other way. I mean, what's the criteria to just bypass and let guys come right back? If you've given up tour membership, I don't know how you just automatically get it back. Your live accomplishments are not going to count towards that. But I mean, like I don't even have the list in front of me of guys that did not resign their tour membership, right? Dustin Johnson was a lifetime member and he resigned his membership. He did. I remember him saying that specifically. So does that end up playing a factor in how it all unfolds? I don't know. But the key part of this is this Rory's saying here, like, this is obviously I've changed my tune on that. What is your guys' reaction to this stance of like, yes, guys should be able to come back without being punished? And I think punished and being qualified are two different things here. And I think that's kind of important. And he spells that out in this. And that was spelled out in the press release today.
I feel like he would probably like, I don't know. I think it becomes pretty obvious that like you lose the ability to punish when like you lose the leverage.
Yeah.
And you lost the leverage when like you lost all these guys slowly over the last 18 months.
And when you announced on June 6th that you were partnering
right.
with these
And
guys.
that's where it's like sanction me with who is a bit like, yeah, go ahead and sanction me, man. Like, I feel like, I don't know, changing your tune and like admitting, I don't want to say admitting defeat, but I don't know if he would put it that way, but that's kind of how it feels, is like being a realist about the situation and digging your heels in and just saying like, this is bullshit. We need to keep punishing these guys when that's not really possible feels pointless, needless. Like,
is this different?
Unnecessarily, like,
is this different from banning guys
antagonistic?
from playing PGA Tour events that left for live, like initially?
I think so.
That's
yeah.
what again, the live bots are purposely confusing that part of it, right? Well, this could have been done 3 years ago. It's like, well, no, it's not quite the same thing.
I feel like a lot of those are all like defense tactics, right? And now it's like, I mean, the outcome is kind of determined.
We have to end up with everyone
Right?
back together,
So it's like,
right?
This whole thing is it's going to be such an interesting test case in governance. So the strategic sports advisors, SSG guys get 4 board spots. If Yasser buys 25% of their stake from them, Yasser gets 1 board spot. Yasser gets outvoted on, hey, we're gonna make it really difficult for these guys to fold in or whatever. And Yasser gets outvoted on stuff. How is he going to take that? Like that?
I would think he wouldn't structure it that way.
And who is going to, like, it's still PGA Tour making the decisions on how to discipline the membership versus PGA Tour Enterprises is a totally different thing too, right? So,
well, I understood that PIF would be buying up to 49% of the SSG stake, not
so they would
25%
get
of the stake.
maybe two board seats then. So even then on the,
Yeah.
but that's still PGA Tour Enterprises, which then flows into, the PGA Tour advisory board or whatever.
Yeah. But it is a reversal, I think, from when we initially started, like June 6th last year, the plan was with whatever that framework agreement was, and this has been reported by SI since then, was like $1 billion worth of an equalization fund, right? So no, I wouldn't call that punishment to the live guys, but a fund to top up the PGA Tour players that did not leave for live to kind of help stomach, like, yeah, the guys that left are going to be coming back and you're all going to be playing together again, but also here's $50 million. Like, does that sound like a fair deal? But that is now off the table, right? And I think that's what's kind of Rory's waving the white flag here on, like, no, that's not going to be a part of this. We have this equity. That's what the equity is for. But also, like, the guys that have not resigned their membership, again, that's how I'm reading that. The guys that are qualified and eligible to still be on the tour will be able to come back. But I think that list is a lot shorter than people realize, even myself.
Sahith's got the big mitts on.
Oh, Sahith is ready to go. What's up? What's up? How we doing? Let's go.
Keeping the hands warm. My, like, I guess a take, for lack of a better term, with Rory is, it seems like just exhausted with, like, yeah,
kind of all over the place,
and
shooting from the hip at this point.
a little bit, kind of like, yeah, if you guys want to take a victory lap on me, that's great. I think people can, it is, I think, admitting, like, yeah, man, whatever, just like, let's get on with it at this point.
But there's also an element of, like,
do it or don't. I got places to be.
Yeah,
facts. New facts new scenarios can change how you feel on something.
Sure.
Instead of, like, digging his heels in, like, instead of digging his heels in and, like, drawing a hard line, which leads to a continued fractured golf world, is a bad thing. He's like the one person so far is willing to just be like, yeah, dude, we lost. Like, whatever, we lost. Let's get everyone back together. Can we please get that's his main through line, is getting everyone back together, playing golf again.
Sort of feels like everybody lost a little bit.
Totally.
Except for the dudes that cashed the thing.
Yeah, totally.
That's where it comes back to, like, yeah, if you're going to stunt on us on anything, it's like, yeah, those guys who did that, like, look pretty great right now.
Sure.
Congratulations.
Like I wasn't rooting for that. Like I'm
Right,
not
no,
happy
exactly.
for you. I don't care. Like
Yeah.
sure, but like they're the kind.
I hope
of,
they send you a check if you're
Hopefully.
tweeting if you're tweeting about it.
Sometimes it do be like,
Hopefully they top you guys up on seeing this coming.
Yeah. And then, I as always would give Roy credit for saying what he thinks. Sometimes I wonder now it's more of evidence of like, why does any pro athlete say what they think? But
Yeah.
I appreciate that he's doing it.
That's
He's
exactly
not
where
doing
I'm at.
himself any favors with it, but I respect it.
But now on the back end, we're henceforth going to ask all these guys to say what they think even more and be more
Open.
accessible and open and talkative.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a very much double-edged sword there. So, yeah, it's like get on with it. Is I feel like his attitude and he seems at peace with it, so that's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, I mean, again, it comes from reaching a new conclusion of like, do whatever we got to do to like not damage the sport any further in terms of like two tours bickering and fighting and separating the talent. Like, I don't care how this makes me look anymore. Like, we've just done enough damage to like the golf fan. We need to start piecing this thing back together. So he's fine to. He's not going to come out of this looking great in a lot of people's eyes. He's been a little inconsistent, a little bit here and there, but at the same time, it's kind of like I still feel that he is one of few guys that has had the best interests of the game of golf at heart. And he's in a position to be able to do that. And he said that, like, I have the financial means that, I judged the other guys too harshly that made this decision, and I'm in a different financial position than a lot of guys. But
If I was going to be honest too, I find his comments and his, kind of back and forth, some of the whiplash stuff of like he's talking out of both sides of his mouth, he's changing his tune. Find it relatable. Over the last 2 years, I've really struggled with that. Like, oh man, I need to be an expert on this really complex topic. It's like some days I feel like, man, I don't really care that like, man, it's truly exhausting. So to ask him to have the answers on all this stuff every time there's a mic in front of him is, it's a pretty heavy load.
Is Roy a mutter?
Sources are telling me no, but he's also just really good, so you can't drop him too far down the power rankings.
Spieth's playing with the CEO of McDonald's this week.
Have it your way.
I'm going to ask him if the McRib is back.
oh, that's interesting. Have you been following the price of pork?
haven't.
That's when it comes back.
Why don't
Yeah.
they just have the McRib? Is that right?
Yeah, I think there's like a
Really?
correlation.
Well,
to like,
let me ask you
never actually
guys,
eaten a
as
McRib.
just a discussion
McRibs
topic,
rule.
who do
They're
you
great.
think the top 3 mutters are on the field? Because I've asked a couple
In the
of
field.
in the field, which is the top guys
Sure.
on the PGA Tour right now. I've asked a few caddy sources out here. I have some names.
I got 2. I'm trying to think of my third. I'm gonna say Scott Scheffler.
Was told he is not a mutter.
Yeah,
Really?
I don't think he's a mutter.
Yes, that like known non-mutter,
I say I remember like Oak Hill. That did not go great for him at Oak Hill.
which
Uh,
surprised me, Deej.
I think
Interesting.
Tommy's a mutter.
Tommy's
No doubt.
definitely-
Name
Sure.
didn't come up, but can't confirm or deny.
Brian Harmon.
Name didn't come up, but I think that's a good
I think-
answer.
I think Harmon's
I think
a mutter.
Harmon's a mutter. Who else? What names came up?
Is Ricky a mutter?
Name didn't come
I
up.
think back to that Open Championship
Right.
at St. George.
When he was wearing that bright blue.
yeah,
What name
rain
came up
suit.
immediately?
Spieth.
Spieth.
Hmm.
That he's on his best behavior
When it's muddy.
He's a pig.
when the weather's like
The
this.
price of pork.
That's been a bit like being on the road for 3 weeks. It's
Max,
just like,
his
listen, man,
name
things
came
are
up.
getting stressful. We need to. I did say that
Uh,
event at Potomac was gnarly.
And a name that surprised
I think
me.
that was at Potomac, right?
That was rain and then in the wind
Cold.
at Riviera. He's done quite well.
Remember that rainy one? He's chipping drivers like 235.
I could see Chris Kirk being a mutter.
Oh, that's interesting.
Name didn't come up.
Little
Sander,
ball hitter.
number 1 name on that
Yeah, I
list.
had a feeling about that one too.
Two corroborated sources
Huh.
there. And then the last one is Big Tone.
Big Tone's a mutter.
Big Tone.
Really?
It's the name that came up.
Interesting.
Very interesting.
Yeah. Huh.
We'll see. We shall see.
Keegan,
guys-
not
we-
a mutter.
Really?
We have
New
a.
England. I would expect Keegan to be a mega mutter.
There
Do
you have it.
we want to take a quick little break here before we welcome a guest in here? I believe shortly. We were told a guest might be coming at 9, so this might be our might be our window. I'm getting word that might be it. So we would take a quick break. Before we do that, I want to give a shout out to our friends, of course, at AT&T. Connecting changes everything. Today, being connected is essential. Connectivity is truly the bridge to possibility, improving the way we move through our daily lives, succeeding in work and school, and having access to opportunities that may not have been possible before. That's why AT&T invests expertise and resources in the network constantly so customers can keep connected with every aspect of their lives. After all, connecting people is what AT&T does best, and each connection leads to greater possibility. Connecting changes everything. AT&T. We will be back shortly, right after that. No, we are not. Sorry, I sprung that on. I sprung that on.
I think
Cody.
Russell Henley is probably a mutter.
Sure.
I would lead
I would
iron
buy that.
player. I might just start walking up to guys.
You
Are
should
you
ask.
a mutter?
You should. I think that's.
I think they're all going to say yes.
a great question.
It's like, oh, I don't play slow.
I don't.
I don't play
I don't play slow.
Mutter
Is Kuchar a mutter?
for sure.
Don't know.
I think
Maybe
definitely.
we should ask him.
Yeah.
What's up, Brian?
Cooch, you mutter?
Inconclusive.
Yeah. He shrugged.
We're waiting on word for that. Can I say
Depends on what kind of mud it is.
this would be the worst possible range to wind to hit balls in on the range. Wind straight off the left right now.
How it was the whole time in
Coming off-
Australia.
coming off the ocean.
Does Brian Harmon move up in the models, being a left-hander,
Absolutely.
warming up today in this south wind?
And a mutter.
I feel like he's definitely gonna be doing stuff this
Yeah.
week. Stay
And he doesn't
tuned.
hit it far, which helps.
Smaller
Course fit.
dispersion.
Big time course fit. Love
He,
that.
he played extremely well at the Open. When
Yes.
it was a slop fest.
And I would say just he seems like a guy that wills putts in, which on POA in attitude grass.
Of
Hey,
course.
is Josh Allen a mutter?
I'd say so. Plays in
I-
Buffalo.
Yeah.
No,
But isn't that the whole
that's
thing with
kind of the whole
Buffalo?
thing with
They're
Buffalo.
dome
They're not
team.
built to be. They're like a dome team that plays in Buffalo.
We
That's what
shall
the ball
see.
knowers told me, anyways.
We shall see. All right,
Well,
we're gonna take a quick break, and we will be right back. Hopefully, with a guest here shortly.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. We sent our resident, recruiter. He solidly went out to the range to do some recruiting.
Insider.
Told him, don't come back without a guess.
Yeah.
Until he does come back. TC, I know one of your favorite things about this event, always it used to be the celebrity pairings. Now pretty much just the amateur pairings. There's very few celebrities in the field, mostly athletes.
Yeah.
Your Josh Allen's, Buster Posey's, Alex Smith's,
Harris Barton.
Steve
Young's in the field.
Aaron Rodgers,
Pau Gasol.
Paul Gasol looks like Solly's dad. However, there's a number of people who paid the high ticket price to play 2 rounds of golf in this year's event. What were some of the highlights you really rattled off?
I always find some of the business people to be more interesting than the celebrities or the musicians or the actors and actresses themselves. So first one off the top for me was Ludwig playing with Dermot Desmond.
Whoa.
JP McManus is not in the field this year. I don't know why. That's very concerning for me. But Dermot Desmond is JP's best friend. Dermot is a
Great stash.
huge supporter of the European Ryder Cup team. So very happy to see him playing with Ludwig.
Paired with Rory.
Yes, they are paired with Rory. Rory's playing with
A guy from TPG,
oh, there you go.
a financier.
Yeah. Next we've got Hogecoin playing with DJ D-Sol.
David Solomon.
David Solomon of Goldman Sachs.
Playing with Tom Hoagie.
Which very, very, you got to wonder if the Cantlay.
I wonder if he was spinning it at the pairings party.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
So for those that don't know, just he's like runs Goldman Sachs and is also a DJ.
Yes. He moonlit. He doesn't do it anymore. I think they asked him to stop. It was distracting. But he was a DJ. And yeah, there's a good article in the New Yorker about David Solomon. It came out, I want to say last year.
Yeah.
Interesting. Wouldn't say he fit the Goldman profile when he became CEO, but he did win the Game of Thrones to take over for Lloyd Blankfein.
He's been under fire from shareholders. A lot of the employees are unhappy with the back to the office mandate as well. So we'll see what happens there. But very interesting to see him playing with Tom Hoagie, the pride of
I don't know that I would have crossed those two on my list.
Well, looking at Hogecoin,
Maybe
Tommy
that's
Tate,
interesting.
right? The
Tommy
Bitcoin
Tables,
ETF.
right?
It's an unstable coin.
Yeah.
I don't know if the shareholders are going to love that.
Next, we've got JT playing with Vivek Sankaran, which he actually blew up one of our shots yesterday, Vivek, which was great. I actually appreciated that.
Asked him to come on the show. He declined politely.
You know what Vivek does? He's the CEO of Albertsons.
Really?
Ooh.
Yeah, which they're in their potential merger with Kroger right now. Potentially, some antitrust stuff going on there.
Yes.
I may need to get an audience with him, talk to him about Kroger versus Erewhon.
Sure.
versus
Maybe a
Trader
trap draw
Joe's.
sidebar.
Yeah.
Emiliano, it's on the celebrity kind of athlete front. Emiliano Grillo playing with Pau Gasol. Pau was out here grinding yesterday. Had one of the instructors working with him. Keegan playing with TB12. It's got to be
It's a comfy pairing.
lifelong dream of his. You've got Keith Mitchell playing with Josh Allen. They were the first 2 guys on the range this morning.
How about that?
Ran into John Lamonte and Keith's caddy, and we're like, man, you guys out here grinding first thing. How
And
about that?
you know that factored into the Beluga's big board.
Exactly.
Well, I'd like to hear a little bit about how some of these things come together, and we have the guy that might be able to help us with that. Tournament director Steve John, I believe, is going to join us here very shortly. Neil, go flag him down here. I think he's going to take your spot here. Welcoming in the famed tournament director of the Pebble Beach, AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am, Mr. Steve John. How are we doing today, Steve?
Hello, fellas.
Neil, can you
Hey.
get him situated with Mike?
good,
It's right there in
good.
his face there. Just get it right there in his face.
There we go.
There we go.
Perfect. Perfect.
Little different vibe here this year, huh?
Wow. This is crazy. I mean, we have honestly the 80 best players that could possibly be here are here.
Yeah.
It's nuts. I mean, last year was a little different, right? For
It was
you?
very, the weather seems kind of similar. Like
Very
it
similar.
might be
Yeah,
kind of
I
similar.
was not going to invite you back for that reason. No, it's really cool. The vibe is amazing. We go from a celebrity, aspect where everybody's all excited about seeing celebrities to this, which is so uber golf focused. You think we might lose anything. We're actually gaining it. It's really something that AT&T deserves. The foundation deserves. We're the most charitable golf tournament in the PGA Tour. And Pebble Beach deserves it. I mean, it's Pebble Beach for God's sakes, right? So it's
Having
really
the
cool.
best players play at Pebble Beach seems like
Yeah.
a something that should definitely happen, right? So
Seems obvious.
With the weather, it's also nice that you don't have to worry about 9 green over at Monterey Peninsula.
Oh, the drive out to 10 for these people, as you know, it's a John out. I mean, it's a commitment, and that whole run is when we stopped golf last year. It's because the balls were rolling on.
Right.
Was
Yeah.
it 9 or 10?
It was one of those two. I know.
It was
It was
nine.
like
I think it was
it was
9.
like the limiting factor.
Yeah.
Right?
So I mean, we love Monterey MPCC, but we had to drop one golf course, and it just made sense. It's such a short runway to work with. Logistics are much easier with Spy and Pebble. They're right next to each other.
Yeah, it just
Players
seems like
love-
it's simplified things. a
Players
little
love
bit
Spy.
for
You
it.
like Spy?
Yeah, it's
Super
tough.
excited to see Spy on TV a little bit more too. It sounds like they're going to have some handheld cameras out there for the first time.
They do. They've got 4 cameras out there for the league groups, whatever feature groups, I guess. So yeah, you'll see a lot of Spy, which we had Spy last year in the rotation with cameras, so it was good. I mean, there were some shots at Monterey that I've never noticed before. Like, what hole? Where is that? So it's pretty cool.
We're just going through the some of the pairings. We love to break down the pairings whenever that sheet comes out between the pros and the amateurs.
Yeah.
How can you give us some insight into how these kind of come together? Do people kind of make some requests? Do
Yeah.
you try to pair up personalities? How does it work?
Yes, great question. Guaranteed, amateurs are not allowed to make a request. You didn't make a request last year.
Did not.
It was random. Yours was a setup. It's really cool. So the pros can request players. Many have relationships with their, Rory's got the Workday connection, right? So others, I mean, Keith Mitchell's got Josh because they're buddies, but there's Jim Kavanaugh has a relationship with Ben Griffin, who's a Worldwide Technology. So some of that, I'd say, I don't know, 8 to 10, maybe 12. And then others are just good friends. Alex Smith and Mackenzie Hughes became friends over the AT&T, and they've kept that friendship for a couple years now. And others are completely random. We try to match, the tournament committee. This year was easy with 80 teams. 156 is a little more challenging. So we try to pick guys that we think will get along. The pros we match up as according to their categories. So that's kind of preset. But then we try to put the amateurs it would fit, a good fit, really.
David Solomon and Tom Hoagie. I didn't see that one.
I really like Tom Hoagie. I really like him. And David Solomon's a DJ.
We were just discussing that.
He's really good. I mean, seriously.
Was he spinning last night at the party?
No, but I wanted to do it last year. Remember the party we had, the Friday night party, which was insane, with Schoolboy, Macklemore, and Elenium. And I said, Solomon, I'm like, get up there, do it. No, I'm not going with those guys.
The other Solomon, not me. The other Solomon.
You
could do it though.
Yeah,
if you tried.
easily pull it off.
Big country roads.
Yeah,
on
so
repeat.
he's got that talent. But Tom Hoagie is just one of those great guys, and I thought it'd be a good pairing.
Any word on the allegations that were rampant last year of sandbagging by Aaron Rodgers? Any tournament official statement?
Yes, I will make an official statement. I retrieved the scorecards from the scoring booth. I reviewed them. He didn't even play the back 9 at Pebble Beach. Did not post one score. Lightning struck for those guys. Aaron's been a 9 handicap for 7 years. He may have made the cut once. I don't even think he actually did. He's really never helped very much. And this year he just had, if Ben made a bogey or something, Aaron
Just
made
ham and egg.
He only made he made 2 birdies a round, maybe one round he had 3, but he didn't really compete a lot.
Yeah.
Honestly, I mean, I in full honesty, full disclosure, the cards reflect that. So no, I can defend him, and I will. I will defend him.
It seems tough to sandbag coming off an Achilles injury as well.
That's true.
I
He
saw
just made a hole in one, for God's sake.
I saw there's an orthopedic surgeon in his group this week. The team doctor.
That was
for
a
the-
random.
That was
pairing.
random.
Random
Okay.
pairing. I don't know how that happened. His doctor was paired with doctor-patient. Yes.
Yeah.
It's a good pairing.
How what has been the vibe, kind of the shifting away from a more traditional format for a long running tournament? What was kind of that process like? Were there growing pains in shifting kind of to this new designated signature event model and kind of this new structure of this event? What's that change been like for you?
I really think it's change is difficult. And the 77 years of history of this format, Bing started it, Clint continued it, and to change so dramatically, it's tough. But as I said at the very beginning, it's the right thing to do. We needed to do this for Pebble Beach and the foundation and AT&T. Transitioning from what we were to what we are now is difficult. A lot of hard phone calls to people that had played in the past that aren't playing this year. There's simply not enough room.
I didn't get a phone call. I didn't even get a phone call.
I left a message.
It was be too difficult,
You
man.
didn't get my text?
The phone's been all weird. Yeah.
It's tough, but we worked closely with AT&T and Pebble to make sure that we're doing the right thing. We're communicating it properly, get out ahead of it. And honestly, everybody was fine with it. Every phone call that the tournament committee made, I made a few, others made calls. They understand it. You know, we're all about charity. All I care about at the end of the day, we can push as many dollars as we can in the community. Last year, 18 million. We hope to do the same this year. If we can't do that, then we shouldn't do it. And we can. So this model is working.
What you've been in this role for quite a while, right? I mean,
Dozen years.
and we've talked about it on this pod a lot, where I used to work for the tour and I would come out to this event and these guys would watch it on TV, and their experience on TV was not always their favorite. You know, the celebrities thing didn't really work.
As like enthusiast golfers,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
wanna see the
Hardcore
best
golf
golfers in
fans.
the world.
And my
Exactly.
take was always like, man, on site, it's really fun, man.
Yeah.
It's really cool. People are pumped to see Ray Romano and Bill Murray, and like they love it. And I'm just curious from your perspective what that balance has been like between like this being a community event and now all of a sudden it's like we kind of need to make it like a worldwide entertainment product, you know, almost like outward
yeah,
facing,
if you
you
think
know?
about it, 99% of our tickets were sold for people that wanted to come and see a celebrity or athlete.
Right.
99 for how many years?
Yeah.
Now we have 8 notable amateurs on Thursday and Friday. So it's completely different. I don't know what's going to show up here
Yeah.
tomorrow to watch golf, but it's a golf-centric crowd, I would imagine. If anybody's that's wanted to see great golf at Pebble Beach, this is your year to do it. And I think we'll see the takeaway from the spectator. We do a spectator survey every year. And there's always people that complain no matter what we do, right? But there's a lot of people that were really positive about, you know, the celebrities playing last year. They love it. Others would say, oh, they're, you know, none of the best pros are coming here, which isn't really true because we do. We had a great
The field's been
core-
improving for a while.
We had a great
Yeah.
core group, and I took great pride myself in building the celebrity field. We tried to get 5 new celebrities a year to keep it fresh. Canelo came in, you know, we did it, and getting so then to throw that all away and go to what we're doing now is tough. It's not been easy, but we know it's the right thing to do. So
What's
we get through it.
what's your pitch, or I guess what was your pitch to those celebrities when you're going to them and you know they're busy, they get asked to do a lot of things. What's the selling point from you?
To get them to play, or get them
To get
tell
them to
they're
play.
not going to play.
To get them to play. To get them to play.
Get
Yeah.
them to play is it's the greatest amateur experience in golf. There's nothing like it. You can't walk on Wrigley Field and jump out in the outfield and catch balls, right? Can't go catch passes from Aaron Rodgers. You can do it here.
Yeah.
You can walk side by side as you did with great players. I mean, these guys are, even the field we had last year, they're incredible. They're out here for a reason. They're pretty darn good. So that is an easy sell. We've had guys call us honestly every week. We get people reaching out, celebrities, hey, can I play? And the committee looks at it, and there's only so many spots. We had basically 22, 25, and then we'd have a few other notables like you to get us to about 30
Seat fillers.
right? And so it's not an easy ticket, and we really did. We tried to rotate, as I said, 5, but it's hard to say no.
When the you know signature event model is coming out, is this kind of a decision? Did that like you know did you put your hand up immediately to say like this event should be in that, or is that a decision that's made more at like the AT&T sponsor level, or kind of what was your role in like making this become a signature event?
Really clear. My role is to be a coordinator. I don't make decisions. The tournament committee makes decisions. The board makes decisions. But what happened when there was discussion of elevated, designated, and signature? It's obvious that Pebble Beach should be part of it. It's one of the greatest golf courses in the world, and we deserve it because we're the most charitable organization in the world, and AT&T deserves it because they're the best title sponsor, 39 years with us. So when we heard that, we absolutely raised our hand and said, we want to be part of it. The tour wanted to be part of it, and AT&T wanted to be part of it. So collaborative decision, here's what we're going to do, and this is how it's going to happen. And that's where it got difficult because we had cut the field tremendously, cut it back, make some changes. But again, all for the right reasons.
How are we looking on the weather front?
Why'd you bring that up?
And what does that do to your week? Like how does that
It's
make your week harder?
You know, I've done this now. I've had 3 really, really bad years. Last year was horrendous.
I think Sunday and Monday were 2 of the nicest days.
And that does that, right? It just does that to you, just to stick it in your side.
Yeah.
So 19 was a bad year. We had hail. Other than that, we've had great year. 2020 was the most incredible year. This is El Nino year. We knew it coming into it. You can only do so much. The golf courses were in great shape coming in. We didn't have a ton of rain. So it can absorb a lot. I don't know if it can absorb, if they say 3 inches, which is, who knows if that's the case. We're on the coast, and we could get a high pressure system or something could buffer it, move it left or right, north or south. We hope that's the case in this situation. But everything's in place. Evacuations, as you well know, they're out there. We've had the same number of evac vans that we had with 3 golf courses, so we should be fine with 2. And security, you know, our primary goal is to keep our fans secure and safe. So we get them off the course quickly as we've done in the past. We have the same plan. That's why there's nobody on the course today.
Okay.
It just didn't make sense. to let anybody out there. So it's just the players that want to play, no spectators. We communicated that message out. We can't have anything happen. You know, the wind's that high.
And the weather's rolling through this afternoon.
It's bad. It's bad at 3.
Okay.
It's my latest report, which I get from a guy in Tahoe, is most reliable. Is that it's
He's going to want to get in touch with that
Yeah.
guy.
Oh,
He's a weather
man.
guy.
I'm on the windy.
I got it all. You should see. I'm gonna send you the email. The guy's name is Robin Baggett. He's one of the greatest wine producers. He's Alpha Omega Wine.
This sounds like your
That's-
guy.
How you not on this
I
guy?
get my weather report from Robin Baggett's guy. So Robin's got a guy. I'll send it to you guys. It's bad. Yeah, 3 o'clock's bad. It just looks like a hurricane. Very red. It's gonna blow through quick.
Okay.
It's gonna drop a lot of rain. They say it's gonna blow through quick. So tomorrow it's not gonna be hot and dusty anytime soon. But I think it's gonna stabilize a little bit. That's what all the indicators are.
Who in your celebrity experience who took the golf the most seriously?
Jake Owen.
Really?
That's a quick answer.
Fast
Yeah.
answer.
The guy that took it to another level as far as obsession is Macklemore.
Really?
The guy is obsessed with the game of golf. He came down when we had our 2021 year when we didn't have a Pro-Am. We had a special day on Wednesday, and I brought in, I think I brought six celebrities in. He was one of them. He got here on Sunday. He played golf every single day. Played Wednesday, played Thursday. Was supposed to leave Thursday, stayed all the way through Sunday. Played every single day. He's totally obsessed. But Jake Owen is passionate about the game, and we had a collaborative event with him on Sunday called the Hey Jake, which is his foundation, our foundation, and had 9 pros play in the hay at 72 degrees on Sunday. Very nice. Jake is an incredibly giving guy. We split the proceeds the first 2 years, and this year he said, if you send me a check, I'm sending it back.
Mm-hmm.
It's a $200,000 check, so it's not something like $5 check. But he's an incredible guy.
What's something that the viewers at home may not know, like a tournament director's job? What's something about your job that people may not know how a tournament
You're going
comes
to clean
together?
toilets at some point in time. You're going to change a diaper. There's nothing too low. I mean, you do what you got to do. You got to get it done. I'm so fortunate. I've got a staff of 12 incredibly talented ladies. They keep me grounded, but they're motivated. They're driven. They're hardworking. They know what our role and responsibility truly is at the foundation. It's about giving back, and I love what I do. I enjoy it, and you just do what you got to do. You do everything.
It's
exciting.
You got to pick to win.
It's going to be a mutter.
So we're discussing.
Rankings.
I think, honestly, a guy like Jordan Spieth, you need a veteran. I think you need a veteran, guy that's played here a bunch, and a guy that can deal with elements. Rory can deal with elements, but I don't know. That feels so deep.
Yeah.
The
Beluga likes that ranking over there. Huh.
What's yours?
Yeah,
he ranked the whole field 80-1.
Seriously?
Yeah.
81 to
Send
1.
me that,
81.
will ya? Send me that.
We got a lot of time to kill.
Somebody who's
Wow.
not in the field,
I-
and we have to find the person who's
Well, I
actually
can
not
tell
in
you,
the
I
field.
bet you could do that.
I can tell you, he's not going to win. Terrell Hatton.
Yes,
Anyway.
that's true. He's not going to.
But
Don't like his chances.
no, not good. I think Jordan. I really do. He's playing well. You know who else doesn't play here at all? Justin Thomas. I think he actually look at what he's done. 2-1.
I think he's in the mutter category. I can't unsee that year at the Players.
Max Homa, California,
Yeah.
Northern California. Morikawa has never played. NorCal guy. I think you need to look at a NorCal guy that's used to Poana and can play in shit weather.
Homa played really well when it was awful at TPC Avenel.
There you go.
When the Wells Fargo moved
There you
there
go.
Yeah.
a couple years ago.
It's gonna be a guy like that.
Love it.
Then I'll pick the wrong guy.
Well, I know your phone's probably blowing up just from spending
Great to
20
be with
minutes
you
with
guys.
us. So thanks
Really
much for
enjoyed
spending
it.
some
Thank you,
time.
thank you.
Yeah,
and,
thanks for having
thanks
us.
for having us out. It's
That's all
been
I
a lot
said
of
to you.
fun.
You get it. Okay, thanks, guys.
Yeah,
right.
thank you very much.
See you,
Thanks,
Steve.
That is tournament director Steve John here at the AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am. We are welcoming the Beluga back in.
How about that?
Couple other pairings
Shot of
that I
light.
wanted to shout out. Max Homa playing with the guy that was in the background of our shot yesterday, Ryan Lance. He's the head of ConocoPhillips.
If you missed it yesterday, one of the all-time great moments I think of the show was he was not hitting it good. I don't think.
grinding.
I mean,
He
you
was out
saw it
there
in
for a
person.
Good 90 minutes.
He was putting the work in, and who was
Steven
next to him?
Yeager.
Steven Yeager was next to him doing the towel drill, where you pinch the
Towel
towel,
under
keep
both
that
arms.
elbow in. And he was like, that looks like an interesting drill. So he started doing the towel drill. And then I think he realized, he thought maybe he was on this. He was like, oh my God, am I on camera? It was sweet.
Yeah. Patrick Cantlay playing with Egon Durbin, which that might be,
That's interesting.
chess move 12 and Phil's.
Could be some absolute deals done.
Perhaps they're out today playing a practice round with DJ Diesel.
Perhaps.
Right? Mav McNealy playing with Condi Rice.
Dr. Rice.
I'm shocked that she's not interviewing for NFL front office or head coaching positions.
Still in season.
And then we've got in honor of our owners podcasts on the Trap Draw, we've got 3 owners or co-owners of professional sports franchises. We've got Qualtrics Ryan Smith, the owner of My Los Jazz.
Take note.
He's also take note. He's
Milos
also
Jazz.
in the process, I think, with the NHL, trying to bring a NHL team to Salt Lake City, which seems like a no-brainer, right? And then you've got Greg Penner, who is the one of the owners of the Denver Broncos. Fresh off
Broncos country.
probably going to cut Mr. Unlimited here soon. And then Josh Kroenke, who kind of the managing dude for
A lot of teams.
Los Nuggets among them. So
That's exciting.
Thank you, TC.
Do we want to continue with the big board? Do we want to get to some trivia? What do you guys want to do next?
Let's do big board.
Let's do a shot of
Okay.
the big board, and then we'll do a big trivia.
Yeah,
Okay.
we're going 59 to 50 here.
Mr. 59.
So Mr. 59 is aptly named Adam Hadwin.
How about that? I
Um,
love it.
And
Obviously.
if you're just joining us, Neil is ranking the field from 81 to 1, even though there's only 80 players.
Paul
in the field.
McGinley says hello.
Hello, Paul.
Patrick Rogers at 58. He
Just saw him. We know he's here.
I
He
think
was hitting it.
Hadwin. I think Hadwin's
He's
going
down-
to punch above that 59.
fair enough.
I think Hadwin might be a mutter.
Yeah, he's
Canadian guy.
Yeah.
Grayson Murray at 57.
Great form. We saw him
Really good
yesterday.
form.
We know he's here.
TC, one of TC's many boys, Nikolai Højgaard
Saw him.
I think I'm selling on Højgaard this
at
week.
56. Corey Connors, 55. I wanted to put him higher. I feel like it's a decent course fit. But
Yeah.
he hasn't played
Sure.
here, or maybe played once, but it was back in, I think, 2018. Davis Riley.
Riley Davis.
Or Riley Davis at 54. Don't really have a note for this one.
Sure. Saw him.
Alex Noren at 53. And then Adam Svensson at 52. Taylor Moore, who was the first man on the range. Second guy on the
Second.
range yesterday. So
And
that
today.
factors
Saw him
in.
early today, too.
At 51.
Guy just wants it.
And you know what? I think I figured out why I have 82 names. I have Adam Hadwin twice.
Which one?
You know what? Adam Hadwin. Let's divide
So-
that by 2. Adam Hadwin should be probably in the high 20s, low 30s.
So we're gonna delete row 50, and that should that
say,
should
man,
fix our issue.
if our guy that's not in the field was going to be in the top 50, that's a tough look for the index.
Lucas Glover's been hitting balls for a solid 2 hours.
Stay
2
tuned for
hours
that,
20
TC.
now. Team Rose has come out on the range now. Massive team. Team Rose is
It's not having people you can lean on.
six or 7 people out
and
there.
Jason Day just walked by.
It's getting better.
I like
looking
his
good.
fit today.
Another
kinda looks like he's
another-
ready-
Some
kinda
tweed
looks-
pants again.
Looks
which
like he's
is
ready
nice.
to hook him, kind of. Doesn't
He looks comfortable.
he? Yeah.
Burn
Looks like Big
orange.
Tex.
Yeah.
Sergio collection.
Guys, I prepared some very fun Pebble Beach trivia for you
Oh.
guys, and
Okay.
I would like to go through that if you guys are ready for it.
Would love
ready.
that.
Would you guys want to start with the trivia, or we could do past winner or not past winner?
Let's do past winner or not. Past
Yeah.
winner.
Okay.
I feel good about this.
Okay, that's good to start with that because it'll help with some of the trivia as well. But Kevin Streelman, is he a past winner of the Pebble Beach Pro-Am?
He is
Yes.
not a past winner of the
Yes, a
of the
past
pro.
winner.
No.
He is not a past winner of the Pro-Am. I got to.
I'm not cheating.
Do you
Come
know?
on.
Do you know his best finish?
Runner-up in 2017. Mark Calcavecchia,
He
Yes.
is a past winner.
Yeah.
he is not a past
He's
winner.
not.
No.
Yeah, you didn't let me finish.
I'm gonna keep saying yes, just because it's
Craig Stadler,
yes.
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 I have a memory of this.
also not a past winner.
Please share.
The memory.
I just feel like the walrus out hanging
Well,
by the retaining
That
wall.
Well-
might be Happy Gilmore.
Well, Kevin Stadler.
That's no.
Also not
That was Phoenix. That was Phoenix.
VJ Singh.
Johnson, you ever win this event?
He made
Okay,
the cut.
Johnson Wagner's made the cut twice.
Ah,
Mustache.
he just blew the.
Okay.
Johnson Wagner says he needs to shave the beard because his
Well,
DJ's
my Razors
mustaches.
doesn't have a charger. We can only fit so much fucking gear on this trip, guys.
VJ Singh, has he won the AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am?
Say no.
Yes.
He has won it.
This is a tough look for the index.
David Duval, has he won the Pebble
No.
Beach Pro-Am?
No.
Yes.
Which one is it, TC?
Yes.
Yes.
No, he's a 3-time runner-up.
Really?
Yes. Marco Mira, has he won the Pebble Beach Pro-Am?
Yes.
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 5 times, actually. So, yes.
That's fun, Chris.
I was hoping somebody would say
5
no.
times?
That's
He's won
fun.
it 5
That's fun.
times.
Chris, that's fun. You and I can reminisce.
Horse for the course.
Jack Nicklaus.
Yes.
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 That is correct. Ben Hogan.
No.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, he has won it. Charlie Wee.
Oh. There were some
I feel like he was
bleak.
in the mix.
Yeah, there were some bleak years.
Yes, he did.
No.
Yes.
No, he did not.
Ah.
Payne Stewart.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, that is correct. Matt Gogol.
Did he lose to? He was runner up to Tiger. He was runner up to Tiger, wasn't he?
It's good enough for me. I'm going to say no.
I'm gonna say yes.
See,
I'm gonna say no.
you are right that he was runner up to Tiger, but
And he
wrong.
also
He
won.
also won the Pebble Beach Pro-Am. Kevin Sutherland.
No.
No, I think he won the Champions event here.
No.
The
Correct.
Pure
No.
Insurance Classic.
Yeah.
Brett Ogle.
Yes. 1993. You know why I know that? Because O.J. Simpson played that year.
He just learned that this week.
I'm going to say yes based on that intel.
That is correct. Bradley Harris.
Never heard of Bradley Harris.
I'm gonna
Not
say
familiar with
yes.
this game.
Otherwise, I don't know why you'd put him on the list.
I made up that name. It's not even a real golfer. So he has not won the Pebble Beach Pro-Am. Okay, 7 courses have hosted the Pebble Beach Pro-Am. Can you name them all?
Let's go slow. Go slow.
Pebble Beach.
Got it.
Spyglass.
Poppy Hills.
Sloppy Hills.
Cypress Point.
Cypress Point.
Both the courses at
Monterey Peninsula.
MPCC.
Country
and
Club.
What
then
is the
Spanish
7th?
Bay.
Was
No.
that
Del
7?
Monte.
No. This is a tough poll. I don't even know if this course still exists. Is it very old back in the day from the 30s and 40s? I don't know.
Del Monte. So it's not Del Monte Country Club or Del Monte.
The answer is Rancho Santa Fe. That's
Not
the only.
Not the one.
Not the one that Phil.
Phil-
Yeah.
That's the
Bridges.
7th course that is that is hosted the Pebble Beach Pro-Am.
That's a
TC's
really good-
already helped us
Good
with,
trivia.
with the next one. Tiger Woods ran down someone in a Monday finish at the 2000 AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am. Who was it?
Mr. Gogol.
That was
Gogol.
Matt Gogol.
Matt, don't call me Goggin Gogol.
Can you tell me what was unique about the 1996 Pebble Beach Pro-Am?
96.
It's going to lead.
Pre-cat.
It's going to lead to an interesting fact about the 1998 Pebble Beach Pro-Am.
96. It was a 36-hole event.
TC nailed it.
Hell yeah.
Canceled after 36 holes due to weather. But get
I
this.
bet Dustin Johnson won that.
In 1998, weather conditions prevented the tournament from being finished on schedule. 9 holes were played
remember
Thursday, 9 on Friday, 18 Saturday, rain Sunday and Monday. Do you remember what happens after that? The 3rd round was delayed until when?
Thursday.
August to prevent cancellation, similar to 96.
So guys had to come back, kind of like a baseball thing when
Yeah,
Pickup games.
Yeah.
43 of 168 players withdrew rather than to return for the final round in 1998. I'd never heard that.
And so they just got last place money.
I would assume, or maybe they missed the cut. I would assume that
They
they
all
didn't.
colluded together to raise the last place money.
How
about
many?
that?
How many times has the tournament been shortened to 54 holes?
7.
Dustin Johnson's won every single one of those tournaments.
He's actually only won one that was shortened, I think.
Really?
Yeah.
I'll say
Here.
I guess he's one of
Here.
the other ones.
Here.
That
Also
Based on your
Hawaii.
reaction, I'll say 8.
It is
he
6
won
is the
at
answer.
Riv too, when it was shortened.
Which
maybe.
which you think would be
I can look
maybe an indicator of like could we
Maybe it's just not a great time.
could we find a different spot on the calendar? I know it's if we can go back and forth to Texas so much, maybe we can go back and forth to the West Coast
I
a little
think-
more.
Some of this is like, again, like not to beat a dead horse, but I think a lot of it goes back to like the community thing. Is like
Yeah.
it probably started as like almost like a polar plunge vibe, right? Where it's like, oh, the weather sucks, but everybody loves getting out here.
I
And
did a polar plunge this year.
Justine was deep in
New
the polar
Year's.
plunge
It was like
situation.
74 degrees outside though.
Thank you for your service.
TC, to answer your question, DJ won it in 09, which was 54 holes. He won the 11 Barclays, which was 54 holes,
Okay.
and won the 2013 Tournament of Champions. And it was 54 holes. Those are his 3 54-hole wins,
And that-
not counting his live events.
And the
That's
live
the
event.
There
one
you
guy
go. There it is.
I just miss him this week. Like I think of Pebble, I think of DJ, whether it's the US Open or, him winning here or just like he could always rock up here. And to me, that showed that he was such a proper player iron wise and doesn't, he's not a bomb and gouge guy. He's a proper player.
The U.S. Open meltdown was so underrated.
Yeah.
It was so sick.
We'll get there.
So sick.
There is a live golfer, a current live golfer, who finished runner-up at the 2002 Pebble Pro-Am, not named Phil Mickelson. Who was that?
Lee Westwood.
That is not correct.
Um,
Want to come join us, Sahith? Okay. He
Oh,
won't be back.
That's a no.
He
That's
won't
a
be
nice
back.
way of saying no.
He won't be back.
I don't know.
Sorry, first question. Are you a
up?
mutter?
Yeah,
Give
he
him-
is a
give him
mutter.
mic.
Confirmed mutter.
Here, you can sit down for
2 minutes. I know you going to go play?
Yeah, I'm gonna go play.
Where are you playing today?
What are you?
I'm gonna go hop on 10 on Pebble.
10 on Pebble.
Have you been out here? You played out here? Played
I
last
have.
week.
Yes, played 2 years ago. Played the USAM here. Should have took a trip here like 2 weeks ago. Get some reps in because I've never played well here. So
What's the key? What did you learn in that trip, or what did you take from that? Like, this is what I got to do better out here.
so like I've always thought I've always played really well on small greens, with Pebble being the exception. And I've realized like a lot of the shots into Pebble for some reason are like kind of chippy drawy shots. I don't know, it's just it's where I'm hitting it off the tee, or I literally went through hole by hole. I'm like, I have a lot of like smooth draws, and a lot of these smooth draws are off of left to right slopes. And one of the big things me and my coach have worked on is not trying to hit draws off left to right slopes, just because of the way my swing is. I get the heel stuck and I hit like a flip hook. So yeah, just trying to find ways to combat that.
Interesting.
I'm hitting like this flighty, chippy slice off these lies now. Yeah, I feel like it's something you don't really notice, but there's a ton of slope left to right on a lot of holes. Obviously 13, 15 right to left, but a lot of the other ones, it's like, so yeah, historically I've missed a lot of greens long left, which is, you can't miss long at Pebble.
That's
So-
interesting.
What about Spyglass? Any experience out there?
Yeah. And what is it? I don't know the word. I'm not good at vocab. Contradictly. Whatever.
Sure. Yeah, we got what you're saying.
I've played really well at Spy, even though it feels very similar to Pebble. Like I shot 4 under 2 years ago at Spy, and then played well there during the AM. I don't really know why. I just really think it's an awesome golf course. It's a hell of a course, and I guess they're playing. I could be wrong on this, but like a U.S. Senior Open there soon, 2030 or something.
Oh, I did not know that. Who's your amateur partner this week? Do you know?
CEO of
Shantanu.
Adobe, right?
Yeah, CEO of
Can we get some
Adobe.
deals done? Oh, we already got. Looks like we already got a deal done.
Oh,
here.
Send him our regards.
Deals with inks,
We
man.
use Photoshop and Premiere Pro. We use his suite of products.
We're moving away from
lot.
Premiere Pro. Don't
Work
tell him
on
that.
this,
Maybe don't
this
tell him.
shoulder.
Yeah, you
You
should-
should
My
get one of
our
the
boys
South
all grown
Korean,
up,
like,
yeah.
kind of back.
I know. I'm trying to get over this, Curry. I'm close.
Well,
Play
thanks
well,
for,
man.
Hey, good
thanks
to
for
see you.
popping in. We appreciate it. Have a good week, man. We have we still have our trivia question here, which
Okay.
was there's a live golfer who finished runner-up at the 2002 Pebble Beach Pro-Am, not named Phil Mickelson. Who is it? And it was
Or
not
Lee
Lee
Westwood.
Westwood.
Landy.
Richard Bland.
Oh.
This
Poulter?
speaks to his longevity, man. We've talked about his longevity
Caleb
a
Surratt.
lot before he left for live. This dude kept his card for 23 straight years or something like
Charles Howell III.
that. No, that's a good
Great
guess.
guess.
That's a really good guess. But that's not right.
God, I'm blanking.
This one just got me, man. Pat Perez. Pat
Oh,
Perez finished
yeah.
second.
that was like one
Is
of
this
his
this,
rookie
like-
years too. He was a rookie in what, like 99 or 2000.
Is this where he threw
He
the
threw
club
it
into the
he
ocean
threw it
on
into the
18?
ocean on 18.
On that note,
Yeah.
there's a player at the 1992 U.S. Open, not Pat Perez, that threw a putter into the ocean. Who was it?
1992.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
You're
say
not gonna get this.
Jerry
I'm gonna say
Pate.
Jerry Pate, the volcano.
Yeah.
We've talked about this guy a lot as being a huge personality that we need to like do a deep dive on. KBV and I
Raymond
specifically.
Floyd.
Close, but no. Big Masters story. We did it on him a couple years ago, drinking a beer at the Masters with the King. Got in trouble. Got a letter from Augusta. Ken Green is the answer to that one.
Ah, sure.
A 3-time NCAA champion played in his first tournament as a pro at the 1992 U.S. Open. Missed the cut with a 68-81. That is correct. He finished with flair on Friday using a driver to hit the ball 270 yards from the fairway onto the 18th green and two-putted for birdie.
Whiffs of
Probably so many
TC.
head nods walking up that fairway.
3-time NCAA champion is that's a sick
That's
block.
a unique flex.
Yeah, I don't see a lot of those.
Ernie Els finished runner-up to Tiger in 2000 alongside another player. It was a European who finished second.
I know this.
Alex Chaka.
He's got 3 names.
Jose Maria Olazabal.
Per Ulrich Johansson.
Miguel Angel Jimenez.
Is Per Ulrich Johansson a speed skater or a golfer?
I remember
That's
I
a
remember
great
him as
question.
being. Weren't those two over par and Tiger was the only one under par?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think Tiger was 12 under, maybe.
Yeah.
They were all like 3 over.
What did Dustin Johnson shoot in the final round of the 2010 U.S. Open?
82.
That is correct. What could DJ have shot and still won the U.S. Open?
78.
76.
Dang.
Just didn't get off the bus that day. How tough.
unfortunate.
Will you apologize,
Yeah, I
TC?
will. I will. I was pretty bummed
Crazy
that day.
meltdown.
Tripled the
What
second
happened?
hole,
Tripled the second?
and doubled the third, I believe.
Well,
He had that chip he like swung right underneath. He
question
had that one he tried to play. It was just not
for
good.
you guys as a unknowledgeable golf fan at the time. That was my first experience with Dustin Johnson. Was that yours or was he doing stuff before that?
He had won the
He had won the
84
Turning Stone.
Lumber Classic or the Turning Stone.
He won the Turning Stone. That was like
Nemacolin.
08, maybe.
Okay, because I'd never heard of him. I
He
remember
won
that. I
that.
was like, "Who is this guy?"
He
He's
was doing work at Coastal Carolina before that.
He was probably like, I'm trying to think who a good comp would be for him now. Like, honestly, maybe Sahith a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, it probably wasn't quite the same like fanfare around the PGA Tour. Everybody's been growing the game so much. But I think like a guy that everybody was kind of like, oh yeah, that's like
the real one's new.
that guy's the dude.
Zalatoris.
Yeah. But that was the first like
one much earlier than
big
those guys
major stage, like, okay, let's see if he can do it type of thing.
Yeah.
I'm going to go recruit some players. I'll let you out on the last question, which is what year was the first $1 million winner at the Pebble Beach Pro-Am?
What year was the first $1
6.
million winner?
No. No, yeah, that wouldn't make sense, would it? What's the answer?
I'm hearing 1989.
Wow.
We're just
$1
receiving
million
word.
winner?
Guy made $1 million.
That feels so
Yeah, I feel like
premature.
They're ahead of the block
who was the first guy to Curtis Strange was the first guy to
way
make $1 million on
that's
tour
in a season.
in a season,
Oh.
which was in the late 80s, I thought.
Pebble Beach.
Maybe that's
a
$1 million purse.
Yeah, that
God.
feels
We might have to get a
we may have
massive
a
apology from
mea
Solly.
culpa on that one.
Should we go back to the Beluga's big board?
Sure,
would love
happy
to.
to. So we're going 49 to 40 here. We have Byung Hun An
Ben on.
Ben on.
Ben on.
It's okay. Don't beat yourself up, man.
Tough. I feel like he might have a lot on his mind.
Oh, you might be getting kicked out.
Oh yeah. Who's coming to say hi? Oh, maybe
Potentially
oh,
Lucas.
God, a potential mutter. I've got 48. I've got Seamus Power. Plays well here, so this one
Yeah.
could burn me as well. But
Very Irish weather going on
yeah,
right now.
so
too.
I feel like he might have some mutter tendencies.
Yeah.
47. We got Brandon Wu.
The
46.
Mr. Hat.
Mr. Hat. Senior Hat.
46. We have a past winner, Mr. Matt Kuchar.
Okay.
That sent him up my my big board.
Real quick. 2008 was the first $1 million winner.
This
Can you
is
tell me who that was?
Phil Mickelson.
Steve Lowry.
Ooh,
Beat
Mike
VJ
Lowry.
Thing in
Not
a
Mike
playoff
Lowry.
at -10. Solly,
Solly,
big
you also
mea
mea
culpa
culpa.
from you. $1 million winner
massive typo.
was 2008.
$1 million purse.
Let me run through these last few, and then I'll get out of here. Chris Kirk at 45, Tom Hoagie at 44, Harris English at 43, Cam Young at 42, Webb Simpson at 41.
Wow.
How about that?
Congratulations, Lucas.
past
You're
winners.
you're in his top 40 for this
You're going to
week.
be in my top 40 on my big board.
Welcome,
have a seat.
come on in. Welcoming in Lucas Glover, and Neil is ranking the top 80 players in the field, and he's starting from the bottom, and he's not named you just yet.
I noticed he took the computer away before.
Yeah, he doesn't- they're proprietary models.
Well, there's 81 through 120 for the rest of the week. so,
Lucas, first question for you.
Yeah.
What are you reading right now?
You took my question.
Ken Follett's newest one. I don't remember the name. I'm only a chapter in, so
Okay.
haven't. I think it might be Fallen. I think might be the name of it. But one
What-
chapter in.
Do you alternate fiction, nonfiction? What do you?
I try to read like 2 books that actually have some substance to one that doesn't.
Yeah,
You know, like
that's a good rule.
all those airport books.
Yeah.
You grab them, you read them on the first flight, and you're done. But no, Follett's kind of my guy lately. I've been on him for a few years now, and he's good stuff. Historical fiction mostly.
Any recommendations from lately? Like best book you read last year?
I reread my favorite book, Pillars of the Earth, which is Ken Follett.
Yeah.
I would suggest that one to anyone that has, like 10 months to read a book because it's
10
it's like 1,200 pages.
After I
didn't know
finished Les Miserables.
that. Yeah, exactly. I got that one for Christmas. So I'm pretty excited. I've seen the play, but
You
I
gotta
haven't
get
read
the
it
right
yet.
translation.
That's
in
a good
that
point.
one.
It's a
Yeah.
very good point.
That'll fit in great with my 12% book completion rate.
Yeah,
exactly.
exactly.
Yeah.
I made a list of like, what am I going to
Yeah.
read now? And then, oh yeah, that's right. I have a 10-year-old and 8-year-old. This reading thing, it goes away quick.
So you had this hot streak last year, and you're in the middle. You're winning golf tournaments left and right. Are you in that moment? Are you doing something where you're like, all right, can I jot down every thought and feel I have right now so I can channel this for the rest of my career? Are you aware of how crazy this hot streak is while it's happening?
No, it was more like don't do anything outside of what you're doing to maybe mess it up, and then reflect later. It was one of those. I was still working hard, but I was like, I'm not going to really just keep working on that stuff, keep doing that stuff. It's working and just go from there. And then we see how fickle golf is. I take a few weeks off after Atlanta and like, man, what was I doing?
Were you pretty worn down afterwards?
Yeah. I got to Chicago there for BMW I remember playing a practice round and just being like,
Oop.
whew, I'm beat. And then Pro-Am, and it was just, I was pretty beat up by the time I got there. It was like 8 out of 9 weeks and a bunch of weekends and contention, and mentally as much as physically, it just wears on you.
When could you feel it coming? Like, did you feel something click and know you were on the edge of something, or is it truly like the putts start to go in and
Well, for me, that was it.
Yeah.
As everyone knows, as soon as I got confident in the broom putter, making my short ones, I was like, all right, now I can be a little more aggressive on a 10-footer. Now I can be a little more aggressive on a 20-footer.
So
Now I can make a
offense.
few of them, and I'm not freaking out about missing the 2-footer coming back. Honestly, that's a lot of it. I didn't hit it any different. My short game was nice, and I just started making my short ones. Confidence grew, and thus can be more aggressive with all parts of your game. And that was honestly it.
Yeah.
What was kind of had you tried the broom at all at any other point in your career?
No, never did. I did some arm lock. I played nice in 21 with the arm lock, 19 as well. And I was down last spring when I went to the broom. It was that or left-handed. I was going that drastic, and I just happened to pick the broom up first. Honestly, I had some left-handed putters on order and some brooms on order. I grabbed it first.
Wow.
And
I've done the left-handed putting before, bro.
How was it?
Actually, it was good.
Nice.
I played left-handed for a while, but then when I went back to right-handed, I still putted left-handed for
Okay,
a while.
all right.
Totally took my right hand out of it. My right hand was trying to take over the stroke.
Interesting. I could see that. But for me, it was just I had to do something just for a complete new brain function, complete new motor skill. It was so bad with the short standard conventional way.
Just a lot of scar tissue up
yeah,
there too.
that's exactly right.
I'll say explain that, right? Because
Yeah.
watch on TV, you're like, just put it in the hole, man. But like
Right.
brain function is a
Well,
thing.
Yeah, brain, and I've talked a lot about Jason Kuhn, the SEAL that's helped me the last year and a half or last year or so. And that was his thing. Is he finally explained to me? He goes, "Dude, this has got nothing to do with being mentally weak. This is like a thing. It's like an injury."
Yeah.
And I was in a bit of a unique situation because I'm having to play to keep my job at the time. And he goes, "Look, we're going to have to work through this faster than I would like while you're doing it." And in the middle of a lot of his time and lessons with me, I switched putters. And he goes, I wasn't going to mention it because I don't know enough about golf. He goes, but there's no way this can be bad. He goes, this is like reteaching yourself something you know how to do, but in a completely different way. He goes, you know, you've been putting since you were 3 years old. He goes, you still know how to read the greens, you still know how to roll the ball, but we're going to do it in a completely different way. And he didn't necessarily care. I did it, but he said, this can't hurt. I was basically just using something different to do something I've done my whole life. And I had to reteach myself how to stroke that, that method. And so just a complete new brain function, or motor skill. And it clicked, it worked.
Any history for you here, the Pebble?
I played nice here a few years back. I think, I don't know, 6th or 7th, and my partner and I finished 4th or 5th. I was more excited for him than that, just because it's such a big deal for the AMs to play well. And he was a friend and became a good friend. And so new partner this week. So I look forward to hopefully he plays well.
I'm sure you're gonna be asked 50 times today, but
No golf, no new deal, no new
I'll say
strategic
it.
deal.
Oh, sure.
I haven't read up on it.
Yeah, gotcha. No worries.
And
Yeah.
I don't want to spew knowledge that I don't know about.
Totally.
And so
That's
I
the
said
right
that
line.
to Chris on the way in.
Yeah.
I need to read up this afternoon.
Yeah.
When the weather gets nice, I mean awful. And,
You can make a whole career out of not reading up on things.
Yeah, I was
Just
gonna say,
stay in your
don't let that
thoughts.
stop you, man.
Yeah,
Just
I
huck
told you
it.
at a radio show now.
That's right. We heard about
How do you like that?
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah?
I'm doing that. I'm like, yeah, I'm just gonna say stuff and see how it goes. And if I get any repercussions, maybe it was the wrong thing.
Sure, exactly. Then you can dial it in from there.
Yeah.
Are you a mutter? Are you like? Are you?
He won the U.S. the
Are you-
2009
no,
U.S. Open.
I'm
at
trying to
Pebble
lead
Beach.
the-
His resume speaks for itself.
I don't mind it. I think it levels the playing field a lot maybe. And yeah, I don't mind seeing wind up, and I don't mind flighting the ball and moving it around. You got to do that around here a little anyway, just with the slopes and the way the golf course is set up. But yeah, I think it kind of brings everybody back when it's bad.
Is Pebble? It's gonna be kind of a weird. I never thought about that, but that's kind of the end of your U.S. Open reign, right? Coming back here, and
Yeah.
the next year was,
Yeah,
you know,
Graham
the
McDowell.
cycle started over.
Yeah.
What was that like?
I had
Kind
to
of.
bring the trophy. I didn't
Yeah,
like it.
exactly.
I didn't like it. No, it was cool. We were talking to some guys earlier. We had a different driving range, and we were reminiscing. It was up the hill a little bit, and then I remembered. I was like, that's where I had to wheel the metal travel bag in with the I don't know what you call it, with the trophy in it. I said, man, now that you're mentioning that, I didn't like that at all. But
You're no glove, right? Like,
yeah.
Like, do guys come up to you and they're like, I don't know how you do it. Like, they got their ring gloves on and all that.
They're like, well, what about when it rains? I said, well, you know, I wipe my hands off and I got cord grips. So it's
You don't do the moist salute, you know, pee on your hand.
on your hands. No, I never do that. I can see that being effective, though. You know, it depends on your diet, how
Sure,
sticky
of course.
it could be.
Very
Of
true.
course.
All right, we'll send you on your way. We appreciate you stopping by on your way from the range here, getting some practice in.
Thanks
and
for having me.
yeah, you bet. Anytime, and we'll be seeing you on your show here
You
as
got it.
well. So,
Thanks.
All right.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, Lucas.
Lucas.
See you, man.
One of the all-time good guys here on the PGA Tour, Lucas Glover, if I may say. But welcoming the Beluga back in. Where are we at on the big board? Do we want to keep going?
Do we need to double click on any of those 69 through 60 or 59 through 50?
59.
Sorry, 49 through 40.
49 through
We're
40.
moving
we're
through
moving,
this.
We're moving quick. We're moving fast and breaking stuff. Had some past winners in this set, with Mr. Hoagie, with Mr. Hogecoin.
So we're to
The
39.
algorithm's really starting to work.
We're 39 now.
Yeah.
We are at 39.
Yeah,
yes.
okay.
Would you like me to continue?
I
Yeah,
would
please.
love it.
At 39, I sense a respawning. Mr. JJ Spawn.
I think I saw him right over there.
I think you're overranking him.
And possibly underranking Hoge.
Potentially.
It's
I haven't seen a lot
interesting.
out of
Yeah.
Mr. Hoge. Sahith at 38. Sepp Straka at 37. I mean, you heard it. You heard it from Sahith himself. He doesn't play well here. Like he
likes it though.
I mean, he was saying he's like struggling with the hook off of the lie, hanging lies. He literally from the horse's mouth.
But you can tell he's been focused on, hey, I want to play well here. This is an important tournament to me.
Sure, and we take that strokes gained heart and attitude into account.
Sure.
But past history also factors into the big board.
Yeah.
And so he is where he is. He's 38th.
He
My college
can bung
football
a lot of
number.
two
There you
irons
go.
off the tee here.
You know what really fascinated me was your coach's attitude about numbers. You told me that in Australia about
Oh
if you
yeah.
asked to change numbers.
Yeah, shout out to Norris Wilson. If you had to change numbers, it probably meant you're going to lose playing time.
Just like Steve John was saying, you can't
Exactly.
request a partner.
No,
I really enjoyed that nugget.
which is tough because I got the anonymous number 38 and stuck with it for 4 years. You hate
38
that.
plays.
Are we on 38 right now?
That
That's
was
what
38.
Sahith was.
Yeah.
And then Seth is 37. Keith Mitchell at 36
Cash for
moved
Keith.
up 12 spots due to being the first man on the range. Just want that noted that he climbed the big board late.
He loves this.
He's working hard. Then we have 35. We have Richard Flower, Mr. Ricky Fowler.
Seems kind of low, or kind of
I feel like that's
34.
good. I like that.
We have young Tom Kim. 33.
could be a really good like
Good Tom
shorter
Kim week.
course. Iron play.
There's a lot of good players on the field.
Putters.
33. I have Maverick McNealy. His finishes here are
Really good.
really, really good. So I'm his form maybe not so much coming off a medical, but it feels like good vibes only. We may hear from him in a little bit. We can ask him. That may impact the big board.
Yeah.
If news comes in
So
late.
you're not locking these rankings. When do they get locked? When the first tee ball
First
goes in the
tee-ball
air?
goes-
Are you gonna
goes in the
post
air.
them somewhere?
I mean, I guess I could. If anybody's interested.
You should post them on our website.
32, JT Poston.
High ball hitter, gonna be windy. Don't know if I love it.
31, I have Ricky Fowler again. So I may have switched the name and forgot about. So we'll have to figure out who.
Absolute debacle.
Somebody's missing from the field list.
Nah, I have
Potentially.
double here. Potentially, I don't know.
Things
Listen,
are in
when we're
flux,
moving
man.
things around on
Yeah.
the big board, sometimes typos happen. People know I have typo issues. And then 30, another horse for the course. Who is it, TC? Mr. Pebble Beach himself.
Peter Malnati.
Yes, Peter Malnati coming in at 30. There you have it.
You missed a pretty volatile section there. There's some
Really?
interesting ones. Yeah, I think Sahith is
Sahith at 38.
He waited till he
I
left.
think Tom Hoagie at 40 is interesting. We still haven't
Hoagie
seen.
was at 44.
Or sorry, we still haven't seen Lucas. What really?
Yeah.
Then Hoagie might be in there twice.
No, he's at 44.
No, he's
I
at
thought he
40.
was like 38 or
No,
39.
because I went through. I said past winners were in kind of
Okay.
couple past winners in the 40s.
still haven't seen
I
Lucas
mean,
Glover
Sahith,
yet.
again, Sahith
Lucas-
said himself that like, yo, I just don't really play
But I
well
also
here.
feel
Lucas
like
Glover-
Sahith can just like he fights the driver and he doesn't have to hit that many drivers here.
This is true.
Lucas Glover might move up with that Les Mis wreck.
No, he did. I adjusted it.
I gotta
sitting
make sure
right
he's
over
got
there.
the right translation.
Exactly.
Talking to
It,
Lucas
ma-
Glover.
it made 24601.
Malnati's caught some flack for the sponsor exemption. I will say, like, if there's anybody that's like better at
doing this.
like glad handing and just being a positive energy in an amateur setting, it's probably Peter Malnati, and he supported the hell out of this tournament in the past. And I feel like they've rewarded guys who have come here in the past and supported the event. Some of those guys happen to be PGA Tour Policy Board members, and also like those guys are working about as hard as you can to the point where like it's probably detracting from their games. Like we've seen some of them walking up and down the range on their AirPods this week.
I think there's
on
been a lot of
calls.
phone calls.
There's a lot of guys on the phone. You can tell who's on the phone about like something important. There's a lot of guys that are like, that looks like
Well,
he doesn't want to be on the
It
phone.
doesn't seem like there's a lot of players on the phone. It's a lot of support staff on the phone.
I feel like a lot of the policy board members are on.
Well,
have been on the
that's
phone
what
a
I'm saying.
lot.
The guys that are on the phone, it's like, okay, they're obviously it's important.
The sponsor stuff too is
They're connecting.
it changes everything. The not having the policy board members here would have been weird too. At the same time, it's a $20 million purse, and if you're a player who's playing really good, I also would be justifiably upset if you saw how those were given. So it's
I think we're looking.
choose your adventure if you want to be mad or not. on
They're
that
all
one.
going to get scrutinized this year, right? And I think
Yeah.
when we look back at the whole year, if the only policy board members are getting
shouldn't all
the
look like
sponsored
this.
exemption,
Exactly.
that is probably
Yes.
something to double click on. At the same time, I think when you zoom out for all of these,
Like I find it a little bit insane that Gary Woodland's not in the field.
It's tough seeing a big picture of him in the tap room yesterday and be like, no, sorry, you're not on the field.
it's tough. It is tough, but I mean, it's almost easier if they just didn't have sponsor exemptions into these signature events. But also, business of
Except
golf,
for
man.
Tiger.
Tiger
gets
can
into-
get any event he wants to for all of time. Probably be welcoming in a guest here, hopefully in the next 5 minutes or so. Things are fluid out here on the range here at the AT&T
Things are
Pebble
getting,
Beach
things are
Pro-Am.
getting chilly.
They
too.
might get very fluid at about 3 p.m. So
You got those mittens?
I do. You want them?
Yeah, I'd
You
love.
had 2 pairs of gloves?
Yeah, this whole time you've been sitting on the mittens.
I
Jeez,
thought
man.
Lucas was going to steal my mitten.
The wind gusts are getting up there a little bit out there. There's a little cloud formation. As soon as you step out there, you start to see maybe a little something coming in.
I'm not
maybe
seeing
earlier.
a whole lot of amateurs on the range today. I'm wondering if they're.
I wonder if they're taking it
seriously.
Are they mutters? That is the question we have right here.
Qualtrics Ryan said he was going to come on the show today. I haven't seen him.
A lot of I'll catch you on my way back.
Yeah.
Sure.
We greatly Lucas Glover always just puts me in a great mood.
Oh.
He just got that big booming Southern voice. One of golf's great talkers.
You ever been on the No Laying Up live show? No, but I want to.
But I want to. Never done it. I want to. He sounded so gassed when he's recounting like his last season, which I could have said this to his face, I guess, but it makes me feel better about the Ryder Cup pick.
that he was.
It's like, I don't know if that was like the guy that would have made the difference in those 6 points or whatever, but
I couldn't have made it worse.
probably
though.
couldn't have made it
Probably
worse.
couldn't
That's a fair point too.
Shout out to Zach. Again, just a perpetual shout out to Zach. Great job, man.
That did not go great. Why don't we run? We have we debuted this yesterday, but for those that maybe didn't catch it and catch all the live show yesterday, we of course just took a recent trip to Australia, and we have a little bit of a preview that this will be season 9 of Torah Sauce, which will be out later this spring. But our guy DJ got in the lab and made a cut of some highlight clips from our trip to Australia, a bit of a trailer for that. So we'll play that now, and we'll probably have a guest popping in shortly after that.
All right, let me see. I expect to see this on YouTube.
What's up, gang? Welcome back to the channel.
Sorry, Lucas.
And we are back here live at the range at the AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am. I want to give a shout out to our friends at AT&T. Connecting changes everything. Today, being connected is essential. Connectivity is truly the bridge to possibility, improving the way we move through our daily lives, succeeding in work and school, and having access to opportunities that may not have been possible before. That's why AT&T invests expertise and resources in the network constantly so customers can keep connected with every aspect of their lives. After all, connecting people is what AT&T does best, and each connection leads to greater possibility. Connecting changes everything. AT&T. And speaking of connecting, look at this timing. 1 minute early. Maverick McNealy joining the show. How are you, Maverick?
Good. Can't miss your tea time.
We're going to have you, these mics are going to need you to be up as close as possible here. But how's the week been so far?
Been great. I mean, Pebble Beach, we had 3 days with short sleeves, and I would say there's nowhere better than Pebble Beach with short sleeves, and it's good to see you guys.
Likewise, it's been a while. Yeah.
First question: would you fly today?
I would not fly today. I'm a big chicken when it comes to conditions. Yeah, there's no reason to take on risk for that, but I'll leave that up to the professionals.
Congratulations, by the way.
Thank
got
you.
your-
What did
Fill
they
us in.
fill us in?
Yeah.
I mean, I had a big 5 months off. I got my pilot's license, my instrument rating. I got engaged and married, kind of all in the last year since the last time I was here. So,
Since the last time we saw
Yeah.
you, definitely. Well, congratulations on all that, all
Thank
those things. What are these life? How does life changes all like that? How does it have an effect on your golf career? Like what does it change? It changes things. What does it change?
so people really think that we try and be a different guy inside of the ropes than outside of the ropes, but it's really just a piece of string. Like you really carry yourself inside the ropes, and it really feels nice to have flying be something that saves me time and is fun and kind of a release and a de-stressor now, as opposed to stressing through check rides and stuff, and having my personal life the best it's ever been, and all settled in Vegas. Finally kicked my brothers out of the house, so that's a big life update too. But it's been really good, and I've been really excited to be able to be back and healthy and fully able to focus on my golf game again. And that time off really made me realize how much I missed a lot of aspects of the PGA Tour.
You strike me as a very high functioning guy, and pretty much anything you pick up. Was that the case in flying? And I'm curious if or if not, like what it was like to be a beginner at something for you.
So I really liked it, but flying's not something you want to be average at.
Right. Yeah.
I like I said, if I haven't flown in a while, I'll take an instructor. I'll just take an instructor and go make it a fun learning experience. I'm not gonna stress and push myself into conditions that I'm not comfortable with, but it was fun. I'll be honest, I was way more interested in studying for all that stuff than anything I did in school. Partly because it's really interesting, and partly because it keeps me alive. But it's really cool. It's fun. When I'm up flying, I don't think of anything else. And my coaches for years have been telling me that I need to find a hobby outside of golf, something that I do other than golf and sleep. And I finally did.
Will you fly from tournament to tournament?
No, it's a lot to rent a plane for a whole week, and they charge you 2 hours a day that you have it, so it wouldn't really make sense. Plus, I don't really want to stake, being prepared for my job on the weather or, and it's kind of nice to take a nap while someone else does the flying, but it was fun. I had a day off a couple weeks ago and took an instructor. We went down to SoCal, got some fish tacos, and went back as a training flight, and it was just the best day ever away from golf.
I remember talking to Morgan Hoffman, who flies as well, and he was just the story that blew my mind was like some nights we're just like, yeah, we'll fly down to Key West and get some key lime pie and then fly home. It's like, oh gosh, when you fly yourself, it's kind of
shout out to Mr. Palmer.
In the aviation world, they call it the $100 hamburger. You hop in a plane, fly, and have a hamburger, and it costs you $100.
Were you always an aviation enthusiast?
So I mean, the name Top Gun, like. Yeah, a little bit. That was my favorite movie when I was 5. I named our first cat Airplane. And then I think I got kind of wrapped up in ice hockey and golf, and kind of forgot about airplanes. And then I call him Uncle George. It was George McNealy that really sparked my interest in aviation again. I was going to the 3M championship in Minnesota. I think this was almost a year and a half ago now. And I was driving into the course, and this little Cessna 172 flew right over my head as I was driving into the course. And I go, that looks like fun. And I was paired with Uncle George that day and peppered him with questions about, what it takes to get your pilot's license, and had a rain delay, kept asking him questions. And that was kind of when I decided to think this is something I want to look into.
George sounds like an interesting guy. Like,
he is one
likes
of the
to
coolest
fish,
people I've ever met.
Cook, yeah.
I mean, if I have like 1/10 of his coolness, it'd be amazing. I had no chance, but.
Can you take us in kind of the timeline of your injury? And, for people that listen, there's a lot of guys keep track of out here, and I'm sure the listeners at home probably don't have it off the top of their head what happened, and kind of your return from injury and what that's been like trying to, finding your form again after that.
So it's been a year. Basically, this tournament last year is when I tore the ligament that connects the sternum and collarbone. I did it in the second round at at Monterey Peninsula. Barely finished that round. Tried to play again on Saturday and made it about 9 holes. Thought it was going to be okay. Tried to tee it up again the following week at Waste Management. Had to withdraw again. Ended up taking a couple weeks off. Tried to play through the Canadian Open, and it just got progressively worse. I wasn't able to practice as much as I wanted to, and that's when I kind of took a step back and said, okay, what are my main goals here? I want to have full status to start the 2024 season. I want to be fully healthy, and So when I kind of learned it was just stuff that I was working on actually on this driving range without consulting any swing coach, that kind of caused me to get in a position to hurt myself. Basically, I was getting super steep, body club, ahead of the ball and everything, and would have to shallow really hard late. And there was an hour wait on the 7th tee at Monterey Peninsula, and I made a really stuck hard swing trying to muscle a 6-iron, and that's about four holes later, it felt like a knife was in my collarbone. So kind of take all that together. I decided that I needed to take the major medical so that I would be guaranteed starts this year, get healthy and clean up that golf swing, and kind of accomplish all 3 of those goals.
We had Max Homa on the show yesterday, and TC was comparing a lot of his golf game to Max. That actually sounds a lot more like it's relatable.
No, I've shallowed myself out a lot. We're actually working on a lot of the same things right now.
Yeah, there you go. I like it.
Growing up in the Bay Area, did you play Pebble growing up? And
so
there seems to be a comfort level here with this course. Is that game related or is that experience related?
I absolutely love Pebble. This place is so special to me. I played way more rounds at the Peter Hay because it was free if you were under 12, and my dad would drop me and my brothers off and we'd play there. And the first time I played Pebble was for my 16th birthday. It was my 16th birthday present. And there's just a comfort level on the West Coast with POA grass. I mean, I love when it gets a little bumpy and a little dicey. It becomes a speed contest, and that's the way I look at it. You got to play the most amount of break you can and diet in there with the least amount of speed. And I spend more than half of my practice time putting, working on speed, so I think it plays to my advantage. But this is just this grass feels like home. I come home and I don't have to learn how to chip out of the different lies, how to pitch, how the ball reacts. It feels natural to me.
What's been the biggest opposite to that on tour? You've played a lot of different places now. What do you show up and you just feel kind of backwards at?
Those greens at Bay Hill, when you get those icy
all kinds of different colors going every way. Yeah.
I mean, I wipe out half the time I try and fix a pitch mark if my putter shoots out. But yeah, I would say that, a place like Sea Island, you look at that leaderboard, I think Ryan Moore was the only guy in the top 20 that lived west of the Mississippi for a little bit there. And then you come out to a place like this, it's the exact opposite. So I would say Sea Island's about as far away from my comfort zone as you can get, and this is about as far in as you can be.
Wow. How tough is it for guys who haven't played here before? Pace of play is an issue.
Mm-hmm.
It's cold. It's windy. You said, an hour wait on one tee, last year.
Yeah.
How do you mentally prepare for that? Do you just make conversation with the AMs?
It's an all attitude thing, right? My partner this week is Dr. Condoleezza Rice. There's a lot of questions I want to be asking her about the state of the world right now. I think it's going to be fascinating. Another Stanford Cardinal. It's a day at Pebble Beach. I mean, it doesn't get much better. We're on the PGA Tour. You have to keep that all in perspective. You can fight with everything. And I think this is a little bit of perspective from my time off. I love being outside for 5-6 hours a day. I love walking 5 miles a day. I don't feel the same if I don't. And I get to play on the best tour in the world, and I love my job. So, I mean, yeah, it's going to be a long day. We might get some weather and conditions, but I wouldn't rather be anywhere else.
On that note, you're playing with Dr. Condoleezza Rice this week. You are. Can you explain kind of your role? You're on the PAC, and you're running for chairman of the PAC. Currently, voting ends in a few weeks. Do I have that right?
No, I was last year. This year, I'm stepping back and letting the experts do it a little bit. But
what did you learn? What did you see in that makes you want to step back?
Man, it's a lot of time. I have a whole new respect for what those guys on the policy board are doing. At the end of the day, you have to play good golf, and for those guys to stick their necks out and get involved in some really complicated conversations while trying to be husbands and fathers and
and golfers,
bosses and golfers. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot they're juggling, and the way I'm looking at it right now is the next couple of years, no matter what direction the tour goes, are the most important to really play my way into the better players group or however you want to label it. And I just really want to focus on all golf and my team and my family and double down on that. So again, hats off to all the guys doing that, but I just really want to focus on golf right now.
You mentioned someone mentioning to you needed a hobby outside of golf. I'm curious, when you're injured and you can't play, did that come to a head, and how did you spend your time?
Yeah, I spent a lot of time. It's funny because my wife works in the PT clinic that I've been training at for the last 3 years. So perks of the job, right? But no, I spent a lot of time in there rehabbing and working out. I was in there probably 15, 16 hours a week, and I probably spent about 20 hours a week just doing like the boring 2-pound weights and stretching and whatever else I needed to do. So huge thanks to all those guys for helping me through. And then I go and basically have to work to like a 3 out of 10 discomfort with my golf swing every day. So and it was one of those things where as the joint healed, I wanted it to heal and be strong in the way that I wanted it to move when I'm full power. So, 3 days, I had a PRP injection in my SC joint to kind of aid the recovery process. So 2 days after, as soon as I felt like I could hold the club, I was out there pushing it to a 3 out of 10. So day one, that was 20 golf balls from like knee to knee with an 8-iron. And you just slowly built that up to 1 bag, 2 bags of balls. The day that I hit 170 miles an hour driver speed, I was pumped. That was about 3.5 months into the recovery. And
the day I hit 170
yeah
in my future life would be a huge day for me as well.
Nice. Well,
what's it? I mean, you're at Torrey last week. You play yourself into contention, and the shot I feel like I saw a couple times. Like what's the trust level like now when going after a ball out of thick rough like that? I imagine that's the exact kind of shot that all the stuff you're describing. I'm like, dude, I saw him absolutely hacking one out of the rough last week.
Well, it's actually this, going from a shallow position at the top of the backswing steeper into the ball helped me out of the rough because, when I get the shoulder working down and around, it decompresses the joint that I hurt. And when I get it working up and in, not only is shallow at the ball bad out of the rough, but contact. So, and the other thing is I'm back to hitting cuts for the first time in like 8 years, and same thing, swinging left. Is that you working on that?
Yeah. So you eradicated the left miss last year.
You guys need to spend some time together.
There you go. Yeah, put that
I really
ball
want to
forward,
get
the
my
stance
pilot
swing left.
license too.
There you go.
Seriously.
Oh man.
Yeah, do you want to interview TC about his golf game at all?
Love it. So
When you came out as a 16-year-old, do you have an indelible memory or shot or anything that you hit out of Pebble?
I mean, I think I played the tips, and it was the week before the Champions Tour event out here, and I shot 75, and I was pumped. Like it was a pretty big deal for me. But I mean, the 7th hole, pull out all the phones, take the videos. It's a special place. Like to this day, I get so excited stepping up on that first tee box. It's such a treat to play this place, and if anyone gets the chance to play it in a sunny short sleeve day, it is literally a bucket list item.
Any reaction? I know it just kind of rolled out today, but were you a part of the call this morning? Did you listen into the call this morning? What did you learn, and what's kind of your reaction to how things are unfolding on the PGA Tour?
So I did listen to the call, but I feel like the media knows more than us. I just, like I said, there's a lot of people that know a lot more about this stuff than I do, and I trust. I'm a very optimistic guy. I trust that they're doing the right thing, and they're making the right decisions, and from the surface, I think giving the players an ownership stake in the PGA Tour, it's really our job to grow this business, and it's really cool that we now have a part of it. However that's going to look, I'm not sure, but I think there are some programs in the past that the tour was trying to get us more involved and take more of an ownership in growing our business here. But now that it's set in stone, hopefully more guys are going to do the things that really separate us in our tour, like playing, say it's a Monday Pro-Am, or doing a few extra things for sponsors, visiting tents, really making sure that the fans,
forcefully
the
stopping by
media-
the live shows. Yeah.
No, but like I think a lot of the times in these conversations, it's lost. Like all the players, we start thinking about the players, but we're really one of 4 things that holds up this tour. It's the sponsors, it's the players, it's the media, and it's the fans. And all 4 of those have to be happy for us to do our best. So
It's really interesting. That's kind of like the more I've thought about this whole thing and the role as independent contractors and having no equity stake. And I mean, yeah, you are members and you kind of sign this thing like we're only going to play golf here except for waivers. But if you get injured, you start playing poorly, all of a sudden, like you don't have a place to play, and kind of what you just described there is super interesting in that regard.
yeah,
So
the whole independent contractor thing, I think that's it's kind of going out the window. It's looking a little different now, but like I said, I love the PGA Tour. I hope a lot of the amazing things that separate us and that we stand for still happen. And I love playing golf for a living.
We're going to talk favorite Pebble memories in a minute. You got a favorite favorite memory? I'm sure you've watched the tournament a lot. I'm sure you've obviously been here. I would guess your shot on 18 a couple years ago is probably up there personally, but both a personal memory and a kind of viewing memory.
So personal memory, I'm actually going to go back to my freshman year of college. My dad was playing in this tournament as an amateur, and I had just landed on a red eye from the Amir-Ari college event, playing on the Stanford team. And my dad called and said, "Hey, I'm paired with Phil Mickelson today. Do you want a caddy?" So straight off the red eye.
He's this lefty guy, you know.
I just stopped in my dorm, grabbed a change of clothes and a rain jacket, and drove down here and met my dad 30 minutes before the tee time. And I remember Phil on the 7th tee was a little into the wind, not as much as today, but he leaned the shaft on this 9-iron and it launched like a 6-iron right in the middle of the green. It was a really cool shot. So that's
explain to you how to hit it after that.
Come over here,
Matt.
man.
It's not that hard of a shot, Matt. Let me show you how I do it.
You're gonna want to hear this part. Anybody else want to come on listen in? You're gonna want to hear this
of the
part.
80 guys here, I don't know how many have caddied Pebble, but that's me. And then, well, that's kind of my viewing memory. And then obviously playing memory, being in contention and really playing my way into that position for the first time on the PGA Tour. I remember standing up on that 18th tee. It was the first time in my life I was so nervous that I was numb from the elbow down. It was the weirdest feeling, but I was like, okay, let's just keep this club outside and rotate. And I absolutely mashed it. So
and then what'd you do after you mashed it?
And then I hit a perfect utility iron, and then the club just started spinning my hands. I don't know how it happened. I just started spinning as it. But
God, that's gonna look so sick.
I couldn't feel my hands. It's just automatic.
You should never do another club twirl in your life because you're never gonna beat that on the final hole at Pebble.
But no, there's no better feeling in my job than executing a shot under pressure, and it's just so much fun. That's what we play and practice for, and there's really no feeling like it when your heart's pounding, you can't feel your hands, and you absolutely smoke one. It is so fun.
There's something you said in a video we shot with you maybe 5 years ago that I try to take with me when I go play golf. You confidently said, "I chip and putt the lights out." And so like when I'm struggling with my short game, I try to just like go to the course and say, "I chip and putt the lights out." I don't, but I just remember like that confidence that came from you of your short game.
Having a kind of sketchy iron play for a couple years that'll tighten your short game and putting. But no, it's the one thing in common with the best putters in the world is they think they're the best putter in the world.
Yep.
So.
Yep. I've never hit a putt I don't think I'm going to make that actually goes in. It just never goes
it's true.
that way.
I say we miss it left and right. It's either the equipment or the coach, and if you miss short or long, it's the caddy. It's never our fault.
I love that. All right, we're going to send you on your way. We appreciate you stopping by with us. Best of luck this week and with the rest of the season. Hope it's a solid season, full health and everything, and congrats on everything going on in your life. It's exciting updates.
Thank you,
appreciate
guys.
your
Good to
time.
see you.
Cheers.
See you, man.
All right, we are going to do a quick break here, and then we are going to wrap up our final hour here on the range at the AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am. Thank you so much for joining us. Thanks to Maverick McNealy for popping on. Had a lot of great guests today. It's been a lot of fun. We'll be back with the final 40 minutes here on the rest of the Beluga's big board, which people are just foaming at the mouth for and cannot wait to
Stay
get to.
tuned, folks.
Here it comes.
The top 29.
We'll be back. And we are back. Thank you so much for being patient with us here live on the range at the AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am. We're in the final hour here of our show, hopefully welcoming in a couple more guests here as we wrap up. We want to thank Mav McNealy, Sahith Tagala, Lucas Glover, Steve John have rolled through today, have had a good time unveiling the Beluga big board, which we're in the final hour. How many spots do we have left to go?
29.
29 that we know of.
29 spots that we know of. I'm going to toss it over to you. I'm going to go roam the range a little bit. We didn't do our 3 bits thing. I might go get a couple bits and see if I can recruit some. I'm going to do the final follow-ups on some people that have said they're going to come by and see if we can pin them down for in this final.
Ludwig's out there. Tell him TC's looking for him.
Okay, I will definitely do that.
It's like, oh, not again.
Oh, this guy.
So coming in at 29, shout out to you, Solly. Steven Yeager.
Wow. Really?
Yeah, a man that played well.
Showing him a
last
lot of
week.
respect.
I like that.
Sometimes when you get close, you're still hungry. You're still a little humble, but still hungry.
Okay.
Game's in a good spot, so I'm looking for a big week for him. He climbed the big board. Brendan Todd at 28. I feel like it's a good course fit for him. Ludwig Aubert at 27.
I feel like his game travels anywhere.
I
right?
know, but we have to see it. We haven't seen much this year.
I'm a little bit concerned about him on POA
Sure.
green. That's a new thing for him, I'm sure.
Johnson Wagner kind of backed us down on the pronunciation. He's like, you guys got to commit to Ludwig Aubert.
Yes.
It's like, it's not
no. Didn't back us down.
Maybe me. Maybe
Back
me and
Solly,
Solly.
We need him to back KVV down on the Nick Dunlop.
Coming in at 26, a guy that's always doing stuff, Russ Henley.
Not Brian Harmon.
Not Brian Harmon.
Who is
Stay
always
tuned.
okay.
He's always doing
Russ
stuff.
Henley,
They're
feel
both
like he's a mutter, elite iron
these
player.
down south Georgia boys are always doing.
They're always
stuff.
doing stuff.
I feel like Russ is gonna win this year.
Okay.
Don't necessarily mean here, but he's
Sure.
gonna notch
You want to talk
another
about a career
win.
that I'd love to have Russ Henley's career of
Yeah.
he can walk through.
He's
an
right out here
airport,
hitting
not
balls.
be-
Maybe we
not,
can
not be
ambush him on his
overly
way out.
recognized, but he's never lost his tour card. He's won 4 or 5 times.
I think
Won
$32
great
million,
events.
something like that. Total.
Fact check me on this. He was low am at one of these U.S. Opens, maybe 2010. Was he low am?
Not
I don't
sure,
know.
but he's never dropped outside the top 80 since he's had his tour card. Talk about a stress-free career. He can still walk through the airport. Probably doesn't get recognized. I mean, that's kind of the.
Lives where, Charleston?
No, he
Something like
lives
that?
in Columbus, Georgia.
He lives in Columbus now. Interesting.
Number 25, Matthew Fitzpatrick.
Okay.
I was thinking maybe a mutter, but I honestly feel like he might be more TrackMan guy these days.
Sure.
Chasing speed.
Feel like he's a mutter in the wind. I think when you introduce moisture to the equation, the mudding goes away.
Adam Scott at 24.
Okay.
And we have some flushers coming up. Wyndham Clark at 23. Justin Thomas at 22. I feel like he might hit the ball a little too high, though he is a mutter.
He's got all the shots.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Too many shots.
Can he putt on these greens?
I don't know. I don't know why you're looking at me. I don't have the answer to that. He hasn't played here in a long
21,
time.
a guy I'm excited about this year, Denny McCarthy.
Best putter in the world.
And number 20, another guy I'm very excited about this year, and I think we'll have a big
Feels
week
excited
this
this
week,
year.
is Bo Hostler.
Talk to me.
Bo is playing with Aaron Rodgers.
Really?
Yes, that is his partner. So that is the
Bo
29 to
Hostler,
20
number 20.
stretch. What?
Bo Hostler's ahead of some solid
I
names.
know. That's the Beluga's proprietary model has sent him up the boards. There's going to be some differences
we
with the
haven't
data
heard-
boys
we
and
haven't
with
heard
the
about-
odds makers. Okay, this is
Have
the
we heard
Beluga's
about
proprietary
country
stuff.
music sensation? Eric
No, you
Cole?
haven't.
Wow.
Stay tuned for that, TC.
Gosh, I'm kind of interested.
New
in
albums
that.
coming out.
Solly, how'd it go out there? Any nuggets?
Did not go well.
Yeah.
It's getting cold. I really wanted to crash. I think it's Keegan and Webb Simpson are having a really intimate chat over there. I'm guessing that
Stick a microphone in their face.
I'm guessing that has
Hey, what are
to
you
do
guys
with
talking about?
some policy stuff. So I was kind of trying to eavesdrop a little bit, but it was very hushed down.
Sure.
I would say maybe we got Russ Henley out here. Maybe we could ask him as he walks by if he wants to join. He'll probably say no, but that's cool.
I got the one nugget I had. Sungjae has a fire sweater on today, but I just watched him absolutely chunk a hybrid. Bad.
That's a great
bad
nugget.
stuff. But I've also tricked myself into thinking somebody's going to have a bad week by watching them hit one bad shot during practice, and it almost never works that way. So
Oh,
Sungjae might need to move up in the models.
I'm surprised that Hayden Buckley didn't move up in your models after we saw him flush that 3-wood on number 3.
Well, he bumped up from like 80, 79, 80 to like 71.
Okay, so that did help.
It helped, yeah.
Sungjae's playing with Greg Penner, the owner of the Denver Broncos. You got to be thinking they're talking about Mr. Unlimited.
Sure.
What to do there? They're paired up with Larry Fitzgerald and Adam Hadwin.
That's a comfy
Did you
pairing.
guys ask Mav if he was a mutter?
I don't remember.
No, I don't think we did.
Assumed because he's played well here.
Yeah, fair enough.
Have you guys talked any odds yet?
We've not
We've
talked
not.
odds.
No,
Who do you think is the favorite this week? There are 2 favorites this week. Do you know who they?
I got to think it's Mr. Scott.
Scott.
Scheffler.
We haven't talked about Scotty at all this week.
No, we
Um,
haven't.
I tried to declare him a mutter. You guys didn't like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. The
We'll find
models
out.
the models are spitting out that he might not be.
Okay.
Scotty Scheffler and Rory are both plus 900. Victor Hovland comes in at plus
We
1200.
didn't talk much about
Haven't
Vic
talked
yet
about
either.
him.
Victor
Vic's been working hard. He's out here every night when we're leaving. He's been on the range working.
Zandir Shoffley is in at 14-1. Max Homa
Pour one out for Gary
16.
Mule Deer.
Max Homa and Jordan Spieth are 16-1.
I like the
I
16.
think
to
I
1.
think there's a lot of value there.
No Hat Pat at 18-1, and then the JT Colin Morikawa at 20-1. The books have adjusted back for Justin Thomas. There was he was dropping into that 50 to 60-1 in the back half, middle to back half of last year, and he's played some really good golf over the last several months. He really has. He
Is
has
JT?
JT.
There's chatter that he's poised to have a big year for a couple reasons. One, game might be back, and 2, less distractions. Doesn't may not be one of the guys on the phone out here
Sure.
right now. May not
He's
not
trying
as
to
much
open up
sponsor
Panther
stuff going
National,
on.
Though.
Look,
He's
these-
working with DJ to open up Panther National.
Panther TC does not want to hear this. TC will not
not
borderline not. He might stop me. He might unplug
I'm not
my
gonna
mic
indulge you on
in the
this.
middle of this take. I saw a couple holes at Panther National when it was at a title shoot. It looked pretty cool. That's all I said. I think it looks cool. I'm interested. I want to see more.
And you're allowed to want that.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Granted, these are not BDEs, but his last, all of his finishes in September, he finished 5th at the Fortinet. He finished 4th at the Nedbank Africa's Major. He finished 3rd at the Hero World Challenge and T3 in his last start at the American Express to get in under the gun, to get under in the top 30 in the OWGR to qualify for this event. So
Guys, I just want to call it out now that the lower jaw starting to chatter.
it's
Yeah.
you are not
gave you
hitting
my
the
glove.
cold.
I know. I'm just, once it's in my dome, then
You
I'm
got a
cold.
beanie
Florida
on and
cold out
everything.
there.
Not a mutter. Neil goes quick. Once the temperature gets below like 54,
I feel like
Neil's gone.
I'm good with rain.
Yeah.
And I'm not good in the wind, but I enjoy playing in the wind. It's when it gets cold that I start to fade pretty hard.
How do you do in New York?
So-
It's gonna be tough.
Yeah. What's up, guys? How we
How
doing?
we doing? The books I say would say have adjusted back on Ludwig Aubert, if you will. They got a little carried away at the Century.
Yes,
I think
he did. He was like
12-1.
third.
Listen, he's probably going to finish top 10. He's probably not going to win.
Yeah.
He's plus 2,800 to win this week. That just
What are
feels like a
Tommy's
better
odds?
place. Tommy Fleetwood is plus 3,500 to win, and I like that.
I
TC.
like
I
it.
like that, TC. I don't like being in California where you cannot place anything, but I like plus 3,500 for Tommy
Who's
Fleetwood.
someone that you think is a little bit down the board, maybe 50 to 1, 75 to
Well,
1,
I wanna-
or worse?
But I want to pause on that. Fleetwood at 35 and Sungjae and Fitz both at 35. That seems like the wrong category for Tommy. I know he hasn't won on the PGA Tour, but we all
Tommy should
think
be
that
in
he's going to, right?
25 to 1, 27 to 1.
We do think that it is going to happen. Are we going to slag
It's a lot from you guys.
The odds makers, they look backwards. The Beluga is a forward
Exactly.
look,
That's
well said.
That's the
like
vision
the Vision Fund,
Yeah.
which we take into account.
A
You
lot
know?
of
Vision
lot of
Fund do
fund
it.
managers here on this.
Yes.
On this.
Very true. You
range
might wanna
here
go-
as well.
They're all whispering about TC, looking for his models.
Yeah.
Did you see the
Oh
Beluga?
my God! Look at
He's
the pros
carrying his
carrying his
own
own
bag.
bag.
What do you
Oh
think? What do you think of the pros fit today?
Untouched
Hey,
shirt.
Blues and
Can I go-
gray.
are you a mutter?
Standard.
Are you a mutter? No,
Yeah,
he nods.
big time nod.
Enthusiasm.
You
No-
know he
no
prides himself
hesitation.
on that.
Yeah.
You know who else was a mutter? Kobe. Kobe was a mutter.
Who are the biggest mutters of our time?
Yeah.
Well said.
Pass at Sam Burns and JT Poston at plus 4,000 or 40 to 1.
We're fading that.
We go Russ Henley, Jason Day, Cameron Young, Ben On at 45 to 1.
Okay.
Tom Kim, Nikolai Højgaard at 50, Bo Hosser 55, Wyndham Clark plus 60
Tom
or
Kim at
60
50
to 1.
feels. I'd take
It's
a nibble with that.
Yeah, that's
A
attractive.
bite at that apple.
I mean, the guy got in the mud.
I'll split that plate with
At the PGA, he was playing in the mud.
And we got
maybe the
right?
muddiest boy.
It's muddy waters.
Wyndham, Hideki, and country music sensation Eric Cole all at 60 to 1.
That's a disgrace. The sophomore album's sensational. I can't get behind that.
Finally, my guy Steven Yeager at 70-1, and Sahith, he's sharing it with Sahith, Keegan, and Brian Harmon.
God, Harmon not getting any love.
Couple interesting ones down the
I mean,
board.
Open
there.
champion. I would think he would be a little higher.
Can I test my theory on that? Maybe played out a little bit at Liverpool. We definitely saw play out at Kiowa. When there's going to be a windy week, just making a play on an opposite-handed golfer, in the case that the wind is
really
more
well said.
favorable to a lefty.
Especially with a hole like 18 that you can hold it up against.
I'm looking down the list here. Is he
The
the
issue
only?
is with Harmon here, if the wind's coming off the ocean on 9,
shoot you in the
10
face?
specific, 4, 9, 10 specifically, that he's got to start it like out
Yeah.
over the ocean.
That's what if the wind switches?
Let's see, wind.
Then what?
Wind is supposed to be out of the southwest to west-southwest on Thursday.
not good for Harmon.
Friday is west.
Not good.
Saturday is southeast and a little bit of west, it looks like. And then, holy shit, the wind is going to get gusts up to 50 miles an hour at night on Sunday night. But going to be out of the southeast a little bit.
It's one of those things too. If everybody's missing the greens because the greens are small, so I was talking about having to hit draws into them. I think if everybody's missing greens, then nobody's kind of missing greens, and who's the best chipper of the bunch? And
Short game is heavily emphasized out here.
Kev, are you calling for the ball? You got a nugget?
you know what? I'll wander a little bit. Hop in here, big guy.
TC needs to go find Ludwig and follow up on his promise. So
Stay close.
we the microphones are where the audio is shared, Kevin. So why don't you come on here and tell us what you're saying here?
It just when wander around having fun conversations with various
Come on in here, big guy.
Dude, come on, get closer to the fire. It's
Get
cold
it
out.
tight, close to that microphone.
Come hither.
Chin should be touching the microphone.
Okay, I can do that. I got a couple chins, can touch.
What do you got for us?
I had a really interesting conversation, I think, with somebody who's close to Rory, like has known him his whole career. Yeah, it's Stolly, actually. And they shared us something, a really, I think, insightful thing. I said, I wish you guys would stop saying like, oh, he's going to win the Masters a couple times. Like he's a great fit for that course. It's like, you know what
You guys, like us?
Not even like
Okay.
us. I think media in general, like just broad public. I wish you would say you're never going to win the fucking Masters.
Just
you aren't shit.
Reverse psychology.
That listen throughout Leroy's career. He always plays his best when he's kind of pissed off, when he's got something to prove. Like as soon as what happened at the Ryder Cup this year, I knew he was going to freaking play great. I was like, he's got an edge and he needs that edge. There's a little bit of like the edge that's come back with Liv, but like he's had his kind of his butt kissed in a lot of ways, and he needs more people to tell him like,
Canadian Open was
you know
sick.
what, you suck.
Randy killed him. Like
I know.
Randy buried him.
Maybe
so I don't know.
more
Like,
Randys in the world. I
see.
just thought that was interesting. Someone who actually knows him well, has been around him for a long time.
We might need to
really felt like
Just come on into the shot. You're
this
sliding
is
up the side.
dude, this is actually the key to unlocking Rory's. It'd be like, you're not going to win another major. Like you know,
certainly not going to be invited to the block party.
That's what I was about to say. We might have to adjust the guest list to the block party.
maybe make it like a Brooks block party, and then Rory's not invited. He has to win.
I feel like that'd be more of a rave.
I think that's a good thought.
I'm personally not convinced that Rory's going to win a Masters. I do not think that's a foregone conclusion. I do not think it's. Oh yeah, he's for sure going to win one.
I mean, I remember Tiger saying, "Oh, he's going to win a couple of these."
Yeah,
and I thought that was like not a good thing to say. Like if Tiger came out tomorrow, it was like he had his chances, and you might miss him out. Maybe it's not going to happen for him. I'd probably piss Rory off enough to be like, you know what? Like I gotta really go at this.
Maybe we'll do that on the Masters live show leading up into the week. We'll just declare he's not gonna win one. We're gonna have Randy back on to rebury him as well.
Right. God, it's windy out there.
Yeah.
I was walking the range a little bit. You ever want to like really see how skilled professional golfers are? Sit there and watch them hit like 4 different clubs to the same distance. Like I sat there and watched Sahith for maybe 15 minutes, 20 minutes, try to hit like a 140 shot with a 6-iron, a 7-iron, an 8-iron, and then go through all different flights. Like, all right, I'm gonna hit one now that like balloons way up and try to see if I can get that the right distance. Like it's kind of art watching that.
Totally.
You have no idea as an AM. Like, 160. Like, yeah, I'll just hit my 160 club. No, dog. Like, let's hit 5 different shots into this different trajectories.
Trajectory's one of those things I just haven't really figured out.
Yeah.
And probably should put that on the list.
Yeah. Add it to the list. We'll work on that this afternoon.
Yeah.
See if we can get trajectory.
What are we going to do this afternoon? Are we going to be just
find some soup?
Yeah,
get under a blanket.
I believe Steve said 3 p.m. It's looking
Seems like we need to batten down the hatches by then.
hurricane-ish.
Yeah.
SCN.
Tough.
Hurricaney.
Hate that.
Yeah.
Yeah, yes.
TC's come back for his gloves to walk the range.
Oh
here.
man,
It is getting pretty real out there. Who's the what are some of the fit highlights and lowlights you've seen out there, KVV?
Fit highlights.
Fit-wise, Stephen Malbon is standing right behind you guys, so yeah, I can bring him over if you want.
Thank you,
Yeah.
TC. We appreciate that.
no, I'd say it's kind of outerwear, rain gear.
Yeah,
season. I got mine on right here, but I don't know. It's hard to flash because it's more like the stuff that's just like in the bag.
Well, you don't
right
want to
now.
flash on Wednesday. either.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well said.
Yeah.
Save your
lot.
good stuff.
A lot of days to go here.
More cow in shorts. I mean, that's definitely a highlight.
Where'd he go
did that
though? Did he
factor
go
into your
home?
models?
Yeah, the Tanimal shorts.
I did not see that.
Morikawa was wearing shorts today.
Okay.
And was Tanimal.
Wow, Morikawa must be way.
No,
up the big board.
I'm sticking. He's in the right spot.
Do we want to continue on?
Yeah, sure. Or do you want to do Pebble Memories?
I mean,
Let's do Pebble Memories.
Okay.
Okay.
Who wants to start? Kev, you want to
Yeah. What's your number one Pebble memory?
Honestly, my number one Pebble memory is Tiger hitting the 3-wood around the tree on 18. But my number two Pebble memory is watching that same U.S. Open on Sunday and being told, like, while we were away at commercial, Phil Mickelson hit a shot off of the TV wires that were laying down around the green, which is they didn't have it on TV. And I felt so robbed by that we missed like a Phil moment because his ball came to rest on the TV cables and he decided to just play it anyway. And they didn't have any like replay of that for us to. So that ranks way up there for me. It's like feeling personally hurt that I just robbed of that Phil moment.
I mean, there's a ton we can pull from the 2000 U.S. Open, of course, but one that sticks in my mind that I, again, try to channel when I can is, I mean, the only reason you were watching was to see, like, all right, leads 9 now, leads 10, like, how big is he going to make it? And then he tripled number 3. He, like, hit it up again in the thick fescue around one of the bunkers, whiffed one, chopped one, made triple. But the thing I remember about that was he walked off that green after making triple, and he was laughing. Like, he literally was laughing after a triple bogey. And I was just like, oh, my God, this dude is on such a different level. He realizes that, you know, he's going to win this thing by, you know, double digits, but it just got hit by 3. If he doesn't make a triple, he wins it by 18 shots. That performance, I mean, it can't be talked about
How
enough.
about the revelation, too, that we learned years later that after he snapped one out in the ocean, that, like, he didn't have any more balls. They had 1 ball left. And that Stevie was like, if we lose this ball, I'm going to have to run into
He didn't tell him, though.
Yeah.
He did not tell him. He wanted to hit another driver off the 18th tee, and Stevie just had to stand there and just hope that ball did not go into the ocean. And thankfully it did not.
Same round. It's very almost benign shot. He hit a 7-iron on number 6 up the hill, and I think it was like 205, and it was just like I remember as a kid being like 205, 7-iron
from deep rough,
from the right side over the bunker. Over is there a bunker on the corner there on the right?
Little on the right, yeah.
Yeah. So I just like have this like picture ingrained in my mind of because the telecast has this big wide shot of it, and it was just like 7-iron. Are you kidding me?
Huh?
That was such a classic Maltby call. Just he hits the shot on the front of the green. It's just not a fair play. It's just not. It's just.
Deej, what do you got?
Obviously, you know, 2000 is up there. Man, honestly, the Dustin, like if we're going pro golf, the Dustin Johnson meltdown is like pretty indelible. That's.
Do you remember a specific shot from that?
Yeah, the whole meltdown on 2 and 3. I remember vividly watching every shot of it.
Left-handed, right? In that moment, like, and it happened so fast.
I think he swung under one.
Yeah,
like trying to hit like a little 60 degree onto the green, swung under one, blew it way left on 3. Like just shocking. Like holy shit, like that can happen. Like I've heard about older guys blowing majors in spectacular fashion. Like I've never watched the car crash. I remember that. I weirdly remember a lot of the 2010. I remember I was watching it at home with my dad. I had just graduated from college. It was like the week between like graduating from college and like starting, like moving to Florida to start my new job. So I remember I was watching that one at home with my parents, Gregory Havray, Graham McDowell, things of that nature. I remember that one. and then just like weird amateur stuff. I remember Peter Costas breaking down more celebrity swings than I can care to really remember. Here's the Konica Minolta BizHub Swing Vision camera of Kenny G's move on 17. I remember a lot of that. Yeah, Clint Eastwood in the booth for a while.
That
just
Saturday
like fairly
show.
catatonic.
You know what I really remember one is G-Mac's dad on the 18th green after he won, coming up to him saying, "You are some kid.
Yeah.
You are some kid."
And G-Mac hit him with the Happy Father's Day too. I remember.
I was like, "Oh my god!" Like that's
He's
such
wearing
an
the
Irish
pink.
dad thing to say. Like, boy, you are some kid. Like, not being able to quite say, like, I'm so proud of you, I love you, but just be, you are some kid.
What about personal Pebble memory?
We filmed a video out here with Tommy Armour III.
I was hoping.
And he took it was the Champions Tour event. Nature Valley had a big presence out on the 9th tee, and TA3 took the Nature Valley bars and just feeding the goals, just tossing, and the goals were grabbing the Nature Valley bits out of the air. It was just like something out of a movie. He's basically like to me like, "Hey, come walk with me. I want to show you something." Just the birds following him. We'll have to dig that video up. It exists on YouTube.
It was a
You can
seminal
look for it.
moment for the Trap Draw listeners. I feel like that's really the start of like the go to his birthday party.
Yeah, TA4 and I came down.
TA4,
came
Light
down.
Speed, a lot of those things you've heard on the Trap Draw started right there.
Fantastic. I remember he played. They played that event also at Poppy Hills. I think he hit 18 greens at Poppy Hills and shot like 71. Like I saw him. I think I saw TA3 miss like 8 putts inside of 10 feet. It was tough.
How about Annika asking to speak to the manager at the Women's US Open on 18?
God, I missed a lot of that. I forget what else we were doing that week, but I know you guys were out here.
Yeah,
That's a tough memory.
very awkward.
There's not a lot of 2019 stuff has come up, but Koepka came out of the gate.
Yeah.
It looked like it was going to be. I mean, that was again the period he won the 2017 and 18 PGAs. He won 20, or I'm sorry, did I have that right? 2018 and 19 PGAs and 17 and 18 U.S. Opens.
Would have
This
been
was for
third
3 in a
straight,
row.
yeah.
Yeah.
And to finish like solo second, right?
Correct.
Like I remember he had a really great shot into one of the
4.
Yeah,
It ripped all the way back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was like, whew. I mean, he made it interesting. Like he didn't like flay down.
No.
And, let Woodland, just have it. I don't know. That dude was on a U.S. Open heater. In that stretch.
Solid personal memory. I know you've told the story with your dad. Anything else? First shot.
the first
any
time-
cataclysmic shots you hit your first time you played?
First time we played it, we had a 3:10 tee time in May, which was the rounds out here at Pebble, not quick. So we played 18 completely in the dark, and you just hit a tee shot, nowhere to find it in the bunker, fairway bunker, hack one out and into another bunker, hit it up near the green. And I had like a 10-footer for par, totally in the dark, just to par the hole. Again, I told the story yesterday, but I was maybe in 5th or 6th grade and made like this clay pottery image of the 18th hole wrapping around Stillwater Cove. And I was just always look forward to playing that hole, and made like a 10-footer in the dark to probably shoot 86. But I made the par putt on 18. That was one of my.
Was that in your blue period? When you were
no. This is even worse. I was obsessed with white pants back then.
Yes,
I
was gonna say white with bright blue shirt.
So, my buddy called them painter pants. Like I bought a pair of used just white pants, and they were not golf pants, but I wore them all the time to play golf. And that was my A+ outfit. And I could probably pull that photo up if you guys want. But these are not golf pants that I wore in my first trip to Pebble Beach.
While you do that, maybe we go 19 to 10.
I think it's time.
Sure.
I got a curveball for you guys here. Mark Hubbard.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Talked to Homeless Hubs yesterday.
Yeah. The data is telling us he was #1 in strokes gained last week, other than putting. Did not putt well.
Sure.
But he's striking it really well.
Strokes
You
gained
got to
tee to
think that's
green.
what set these guys apart. Maybe he gets hot with the putter. So we bumped him up the big board.
He also got engaged here, I believe.
Did he?
I believe I was standing during my PGA Tour days. I don't know if Cody has this photo, but I was one of my favorite memories. I would say I hit a point at the tour where I was like, man, I've taken so many fucking like swing videos of these guys. I've taken so many photos of like, here's the 6th hole, here's the 7th hole. I was trying to come up with like what's other weird stuff I could do, and I just Googled like how to do night photography, and I remember getting a tripod, and I was like, what if I like went out? I think I have like an all access.
Yeah.
I think I have like an all access pass. Maybe I can show up at night. Is there any security? Like I I don't know. I didn't ask anybody like, hey, what if I did this? Because it would have been a disaster. So I just went and camped out on the 7th tee by myself at probably like 11 at night for a good long time and took that photo. But anyways, I believe it was the same year Mark Hubbard, I think, got engaged
How about
right after
that?
one of his practice
Strokes
rounds.
gained heart.
Someone was like, "Oh, do you have a camera?"
Factors
Like, I
in.
think he's about to. You're not proposing, are you?
Think about it, man. Number 18, Keegan Bradley. We're thinking he was a mutter, may not be a mutter. This is one that could get adjusted when we lock these in.
He won the rain-soaked BMW 2018 at Aronimink.
Okay, so
Very
yeah,
soft golf course.
I think that qualifies as mudding. 17, a guy that's always doing stuff. Mr. Brian Harmon,
Champion golfer of the year,
true mutter, Open champion at a soggy Liverpool venue, and he's just always doing stuff. 16, he's fallen out of the top 10. I don't feel like the weather bodes well for.
He's
for the
whispering
back.
now. He's afraid.
Mr. Patrick Cantlay. He is a killer though, so that's going to keep him in the top 20. Justin Rose.
He's right behind
at 15, past winner. He also has a good team around him.
of course.
Mackenzie Hughes has a good track record here, so I have him at 14. Coming in at 13 is Mr. Lucas Glover, who's right behind you, working on his putting. I feel like he strikes me as a mutter, and I like his chances this week.
Shout out to the 09 U.S. Open.
At 12, we have Tommy Fleetwood, a group favorite here, but not in my top 10. I've decided.
Wow, slagging him off.
And then 11, he was the number 1 on the course fit tool, but not sure about how he plays in the mud.
Brendan Todd.
No, Jason Day. So we'll see.
Okay,
I don't know if
He's getting a lot of work in.
I don't know if the rain's going to mess
Do you think
with
his
the
new
fit.
clothes will make it kind of hard to stand up and are kind of flappy? You know, they're going to carry a
There
lot.
could be some
like a
wind
sail.
sails out there. True, we didn't factor that
Take
in.
it back and just
Yeah.
get knocked
Whoa.
over.
Could have impacted the follow through.
Interesting.
I can't play stalemate.
And number 10, it's my note here is it's time to see something. There's just too much talent. It's Sung Jae Im.
Did you adjust it when you said you chunked that hybrid?
Well, maybe I should. Maybe I should
Just switch
flip
him and
him
Cantlay.
and Keegan. Might be my
Okay,
switch
yeah.
there. So
Never seen a pro bounce back from a bad shot, so I think you got to bump him
gotta ride
I
down.
don't know.
off.
It feels like Sanjay hits it pretty high though, but he just feels like a ball striker, man. I gotta think he's gonna win something big at some point, or I'm gonna be disappointed.
Yeah, his career is not just. It's not. I don't know. He came out so hot. He played so much. He was firing at pins, and it just felt like he was on a rising path, and it just feels like it's really leveled off very quickly. He's totally fine and capable PGA Tour player, but has not been an elite player that he was.
Didn't he win like the Asian Games, or he finished second, and so that the military requirement is off the board? I kind of thought that would be like.
And he won. He
another
won a national
trampoline.
open last year.
Did he?
In I think Korea,
Maybe.
or Korean Masters.
sounds right.
Something big. And then I picked him the next week to win, but I didn't factor in the jet lag.
We talk more about this with like the number 1 player in the world. How like somebody gets. I mean, Lucas kind of talked about it a little bit. Like you get on these like super hot streaks, and like they don't last forever. The same thing happens when you don't get to number 1 in the world. You know
There
what
he
I mean?
is.
Hey guys.
Hey, JT, how are you, buddy?
You want to take my
You
spot?
want to come on?
Yeah, sure. What's up? What's
We
going on?
only have 10. Well timed. We only
We're
have
looking
10
at
minutes
data. Are
left
you a
in the
data
show.
guy?
How good is this? Yeah, this
Do you use this
website's
website?
amazing. Yeah.
Well, no, JT, I got a question for you. Are you a mutter?
Am I what?
A mutter.
Look at the weather.
Do you play well in the elements?
I think I like the elements. The rain to me is, I mean, it's not my favorite.
So rain's worse than cold for you?
I would take wind over any.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, I'd prefer it to not be cold. But
Sure.
if I had to rank them, I'd go wind, cold, rain.
You got shorts on today though, so you're sort of
Well, these aren't
flexing
my
on the
golf
field.
shorts.
What are the odds you're on the bad side of the draw this week?
I'm playing with Jordan, so I know I'll hear it either way.
Aren't you on like a 9 straight Open Championship run of being on the bad side of the draw?
It's not my best, but yeah, I actually think it's not only I think it's a good week for the draw, but it's going to be a great year. I can feel for the draws. I mean, I'm going to be
gotta
like
even out.
I'm going to be like plus 15 strokes gained draw in the majors this year.
Let's see if that's on data golf.
Well, let me toss you an unrelated to golf question. How do you feel about the new Bama coach?
You want to sit?
I don't know.
Here, you can,
Here.
I'll just pop in between you guys. I don't know. I don't really know much about him. Everybody definitely seems to think that I was like a part of the hire or something like that. But
Why weren't
You
you?
were on the committee?
yeah, everyone's like, oh man, condolences. Like you would have thought a family member died when Saban retired, but
I'd kind of be curious for the Beluga to finish his big board with JT here.
Yeah, I'd be happy to.
Neil ranked the field 80-1, according to his proprietary models. I think we're into. Are we into the top 10?
JT, I had you at 22, so we're in the top 10.
oh, it's 22. It
22.
doesn't sound like I'm in the top 10.
No, we're into the top 10, but you weren't going to hear your name, so I was just going to get out in front of it.
Okay. Gotcha.
And
Let's
there's
hear-
no shade on this. You got to rank them all, right? And I'm just we're going off form here. You don't have a lot of course history here, so that factors into the models. You were ranking high in strokes gained heart,
That's good.
and stoke levels. So that's
I'd love to know what I was ranked if I didn't have a good heart. Then in
so
the 40s.
we could take that offline. But at 10, we had Sung Jae, so we talked about that. Number 9, we have Colin Morikawa.
Okay.
I don't know if I'm buying this week. He seems to be a favorite around here, but he's a little
kind
farther
of
down.
chippy in the press conference yesterday. I kind of like it. Colin.
You did?
Well, he probably should be. Like, everybody else is putting him in like top 3, right? This one's gonna shock and awe you guys. Country music sensation Eric Cole is coming in at number 8. I feel like his platinum album coming soon is gonna be a banger.
JT's weighing in like, really, man, you putting that guy above me versus is it worth
We've got,
saying that
we got
right now?
Rory at 7. Doesn't have a lot
Rory's 7.
of course history here. We've got Victor at 6. Seems like he's been grinding late, so that factors into the heart strokes gained heart. Scotty Scheffler at 5. We thought he was a mutter. We're getting more that he may not be a mutter.
Well, that's all I need to know about that.
Well, wait, stick around. There's more. We've got Jordan at 4. Or no, oh man, my numbers are off. That's a row. So Scotty's at 4. I'm sorry, because there's a title in my rows. Right. So that was also
Models didn't account for that.
Didn't account for that.
Am I still at 22?
So you're
21
21 now.
now.
21.
Yeah,
Congrats.
there you go. We've got Jordan at 3. We've got Xander at 2, and we've got the Pro Max at 1.
Wow.
Fleetwood was at 12.
JT looks disgusted by your rankings.
Well, have you ever done well when someone wrote you off, JT? Like, or said something maybe you weren't good enough to win a tournament? So maybe this is a long game.
Yeah, I mean, I got to be honest. I have yet to make a cut at this golf course in my 2 tournaments here, but there's no cut this week. So
Supporting the big board rankings.
You do well at limited field no cut events. How many of those have you won?
apparently not enough. Still 21. Okay.
Let's pull it up here. I mean, all the CIMBs that you won are no cut limited field events, right?
Mm-hmm.
Did you win the Century?
I did. I've won it twice.
You won the Century twice. Sony Open was full field. PGA, we'll give you credit for that. That was full field.
Pros in
I
that.
got 2 CJ Cups. There you go.
CJ Cups are limited field. Bridgestone Invitational. That sounds pretty limited field to me. Playoff
BMW,
events.
there's like 50 guys there.
Have you never realized that?
Well,
Have I,
we haven't locked in the big board yet. The limited field stuff
Could help you.
that could help you. That might bump you up a few slots
Your
on the
ranking's
big
fine,
board.
dude. It's fine. I get it. Yeah, I was Jordan was briefly explaining the whole, the situation, what came out today and whatnot, and equity. And I was like, are they determining the equity? Are they putting heavy weight on anything that happens in Malaysia and Jeju Island? I assume
He was world tour.
he was like, they're in Quad Cities. Those are going to be the big,
Certain metro areas more important
I'm
than
like,
others.
come on, we're a world tour.
Yeah.
You seen how big Kuala Lumpur is? We got to have it.
How much time do you have? What is your reaction to everything that came out today?
I mean, I'm good with it. I think it's way above my pay grade in terms of the information and the depth that I know to it. But
That does not stop people from having an opinion on it, by the way.
that's true. And I think I've made that mistake before. So I'm trying to grow up and learn a little bit from that. But no, I mean, I think it's pretty cool. We're the first first professional organization where their players have equity in their tour. So that's pretty freaking cool. And I wouldn't think it would change much, but in terms of what guys will do, but at the same time, I also would think that we feel like we're legitimately a part of it, and everybody can also earn more and play better and feel like they're a part of this PGA Tour thing. So
And
seems
make it
good
more
to me.
entertaining for the fans, right? That's what you're going to finish with.
Well, yeah, I mean, all of this is we
Most
need
importantly, and our fans.
we need to continue to try to better our product, because that's obviously the first. It doesn't matter deals are signed or who's making whatever it is. If we don't, we need to. I mean, we're popular sport, but we don't hold a candle to to any of the other major sports, and that's, hopefully the opportunity and what we'll do. I would think and hope.
What's on the schedule for today? Are you working out? Are you playing?
I'm done golf wise.
You're done.
Yeah, I've had a couple of good days of practice and I feel like I did what I wanted to do on the course, and I was gonna honestly show up here at about 8 and kind of hit some balls and practice a little and see, and I wasn't necessarily set on playing, and with the wind blowing 30 off the left on the range, I quickly audibled, and I just bones, and I was like, let's just go. We played 1, 2, 3, 17, 18, and
that's it.
It is
Perfect.
comical. I'm actually, I actually was about to post on Instagram of a couple of videos from today. I hit 9 iron into 18 today.
Oh my God. With your third shot or second?
Second.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that downwind?
It's down off the left, and I hit, 17 was 164 and just like roasted to 4 iron just short of the hole. It was like,
Getting gnarly.
It was fun. It was like, it was way better than doing anything out here, at least to me. So
that's smart. All right, we're going to get you out of here because we're getting out of here as well. Thanks for popping by.
Yeah,
Best of luck this
Thanks,
week.
JT.
Find just under the buzzer. Find somewhere warm to take in some movies.
I hope it fuels you.
Rematch the rest of the
Beluga
night.
doesn't play favorites, JT.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right. We beat their ass. That's right. I totally
May have
forgot
factored
about
into
that.
the big board. Who can say?
Jordan's at 4 and JT's at 21.
Well,
That's interesting.
everyone keeps telling me Jordan's a mutter, so that factors in big time. That he's on his best behavior when he's in the elements.
He's easily influenced. So
I think we should get Grealish comments on that.
that's a good. We'll take that one offline. So
See ya.
All right, that is going to bring our show here to a wrap. I want to thank everyone at AT&T that has hosted us this week and given us this opportunity to come to you live here from the range at the AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am. Connecting changes everything. Today, being connected is essential. Connectivity is truly the bridge to possibility, improving the way we move through our daily lives, succeeding in work and school, and having access to opportunities that may not have been possible before. That's why AT&T invests expertise and resources in the network constantly so customers can keep connected with every aspect of their lives. After all, connecting people is what AT&T does best, and each connection leads to greater possibility. Connecting changes everything. AT&T. And if I can give a shout out to our feed here. Oh, and we got my picture here up on the screen.
Father-son connection right there.
My painter's pants in the all white. Kind of a Malbon baggy look I had going back in 2011.
It's
so.
pretty good.
Right there.
Hey, one word. No explanation. Who's your pick?
Go, one word.
Max.
Fleetwood.
Jordan.
Fleetwood.
Wow.
That is it. Thank you, everyone.
KBV
for
says
tuning in.
Scotty.
That is not it. Cody is waving me out.
Oh, yes.
scavenger
And
hunt.
here you can see on screen, this is the sticker you're looking for. It is somewhere out on the Pebble Beach golf course. First person to take a picture with it and send it in on Twitter or Instagram.
Is it electric?
That's it.
It could be. Yeah, that's it. And you get a signed Jordan Spieth staff bag, AT&T Pro-Am staff bag. Limited edition, baby.
Big ups to the Sarge, Cody McBride on the 1s and 2s.
Matt Golden,
Thank you,
birthday boy
everyone.
from yesterday.
Shout out again to AT&T. We will
That's
be,
right, we'll be
live
back.
again on Sunday night, and thank you, everyone, for having us out. We'll be back here soon. Cheers.
Cheers.
I can't believe I do my big board.